Today, we're completely shifting the vibe. If you look at gaming news right now, it's nothing but doom scrolling, layoffs, corporate shakeups, the death of physical media, and industry anxiety. But I wanted to change the conversation today because the actual 2026 video game lineup is looking pretty great. We are breaking down what's going to end up being my personal, as it stands right now, top 10 most anticipated game releases that have still yet to come out in 2026. Now, I've already completed close to 20 games this year, some of those co-op games with my wife, some of those games from my backlog, but it has been a very full gaming year, and we're just basically now about halfway through it. Everything coming up from Wolverine to Remedy's anticipated Control Resonant to Onimusha to a new Castlevania. If you want a reason to be excited about gaming, 2026 has a deep roster ahead of us. And I've got a good mix for you today. We're going to be talking about dark fantasy action games. We've got deep lore, dual timeline mechanics. We've got retread of universes going back to certain franchises. We have brand new IPs from developers you might not expect to see certain games from. We've got charming co-op games, racing games, as well as the return to a legendary series. Now, this list is entirely, in my opinion, about potential gameplay and how I actually think the rest of this year and the future of gaming is quite bright, even though the gaming news cycle has been kind of not great so far. But before I reveal number 10 and work my way all the way to number 1, I do want to hear from you. Be sure to put your lists in chat. You can leave a comment below if you're watching this later. If you want to guarantee that I'll end up reading, like, let's just say your top 3, you can always super chat during the show open, and then that guarantees that I'll actually see it and you don't have to keep reposting it. If you want to have access to our Discord and support the channel directly, be sure to click join and become a member. You get a badge, you get emotes, and you get access to a segment that we do every day, which is called The Green Room. So, without further ado, I wanted to go through my top 10 anticipated games for the rest of 2026, and let's just start with number 10, a game I did not expect to be on the list, and that is Star Wars Galactic Racer. It's got sort of a high-octane, but also gritty, old-school vibe to it, and we haven't really, I don't think, had a dedicated high-speed Star Wars racing game for a long time. The Fuse Games developer is building this in Unreal 5. I think it looks awesome. It looks very true to the Star Wars aesthetic, but it also has a bit of a next-gen flourish with some of the lighting and some of the environments. But there is a twist that you may not know about, and actually made me more excited for this game than I expected to be. There are rogue mechanics in this game. It'll lead to different combinations of parts. One reviewer said it was kind of like coming up with the perfect combinations when you play games like Slay the Spire and you have like a really good run, right? Others remarked that the rogue mechanics were perfect for a racer because you're mastering the courses. You're going to be rerunning these tracks over and over, and it really enhanced and made the gameplay loop better. So, are you guys like me? Are you kind of surprised that you're excited for a racing game? Because as many know, I really don't do racing games, and this one kind of took me by surprise, and some of the recent previews has me looking forward to it even more. So let me know if that's one that you're looking forward to, and if you're going to be diving in. Coming in at number 9, Gears of War E-Day. The Coalition returns with the brutal, dark, and honestly sort of returning to their roots. Instead of taking the narrative forward, they wanted to go back. They wanted to go to Emergence Day, and we're getting a younger Marcus Phoenix and a younger Dom. I think this honestly looks grittier. It looks intense and gruesome, which is what we would expect from a Gears of War game. Now, my wife and I discovered that we really enjoyed playing through Space Marine 2. We played through it co-op, and we had a very good time with it. I'm actually looking forward to playing through this with her. Just, to me, a return to the prequel, the beginning, the groundwork, the foundation of what I consider to be a classic. This was the game that got me back into console gaming on the Xbox 360. Forever ago, it feels like, back when I first got married almost 20 years ago. So, quiz question for you, chat. Who remembers the original Mad World trailer? And are you ready to jump back into Gears one more time? So that is my number 9. Now, I told you we were going to have variety, and I'm going to stick with that. Number 8 is Orbitals, and you're like, what in the world is this? I actually think this could be one of the dark horse games this year and really surprise people. It could clearly, I think, dominate the family game category. In a landscape full of very predictable games, Orbitals is a fresh take on the sort of emerging genre thanks to games like It Takes Two and Split Fiction. It's the split-screen co-op game, a game entirely designed to be played co-op. It is not something that you would end up playing by yourself. Now, they did say the roles and the weapons and the things are interchangeable. You're not going to get like locked into a character that maybe you don't like as much. You can obviously switch those things around, but the characters themselves and the animations are actually animated at a frame rate like a Saturday morning cartoon or an anime. The game itself runs at 60 FPS, which is nice. This is on the Switch too. This will be a Switch exclusive, so I cannot wait for this one. This one kind of took me by surprise during one of the Nintendo Directs, and I've since seen and heard very good things about it. Very much looking forward to Orbitals, and this one is in that deluge in September the 3rd, which is right on top of another game from this list that I'll get to in a moment. So are you guys going to be checking out this charming co-op game that looks like a living cartoon on Switch 2? When it releases, you can let me know. Now, the next one, we just got a fresh look at combat from Beast of Reincarnation. This is from Game Freak. It's sort of like Princess Mononoke meets high-intensity character action. This video here is a combat overview trailer that just recently dropped, and surprisingly enough, this is from the Pokemon guys. Now, we've heard that they outsourced the combat to a team that was maybe a little bit more equipped to handle what you're seeing on the screen right now, which is pretty intense, frenetic, and, high-action combat. Now, this is built in Unreal 5, and it does feature one person, one dog. That's a dynamic where you control Emma using plant-based blight powers alongside her companion. And here you can see you can do sort of a pause the game and make decisions where you're using different powers. A little bit of it feels almost like a Final Fantasy influence there, and that is with her companion Ku. Now, the combat reminds me of some of the quick parries and reflexes that I enjoyed in First Berserker Kazan, but it also features that sort of tactical stop and choose mechanic with the dog. It will feature 3 difficulty settings because this is apparently a pretty tough game. It's in that Souls vein, but there will be a story, normal, and hard difficulty. I'm not really in the mood for Souls games anymore. I loved First Berserker Kazan because I was able to set it to beginner difficulty. I will never ask really hard games to add an easy mode for me, but when they do it, I'm happy to try it out, especially when I've sort of lost my flavor and palate for Souls games. I loved Sekiro. I had a pretty good time with Elden Ring when I played it, but these games are just really not for me. So seeing Game Freak branch out into this dark action and sort of combat-focused game is a pretty big surprise, about as big as some of these bosses that we're going to be fighting. Now, I think it looks quite polished, and it's looking very promising. Where does this game land on your list this year? Is this one that you're going to be diving into when it comes out, or are you going to maybe sit it out and see if it is cutting the mustard? Because it does seem interesting that they decided to make a game like that. And speaking of fast games with fast combat, the next game on my list is Phantom Blade Zero. Kung Fu Punk, lightning fast, kinetic swordplay is the vibe of this one. And every single time we saw raw gameplay of Phantom Blade Zero, the animation fidelity looked so good, the fluidity of the character. Some of the mid-animation cancel blocks that I noticed in some of the earliest footage just absolutely had me excited to jump into this. I love animation cancel. I love moment-to-moment volition in a game where I can control so much of what's going on, and this seems like a very pure mechanics-first character action game that has incredible speed and, awesome blade combat. Now, honestly, it looks a little crazy, very demanding, but they have said this is not a Souls game. The developers explicitly classify Phantom Blade Zero as a fast-paced Kung Fu Punk action game. So, does the speed of this combat look a little too intense for you, or is this the kind of character and the kind of action game that you want to play? You can let me know. So we're halfway through the list now. Let's get to number 5, and this was a surprise. This was one that I was not expecting to even be announced. This one is called Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy. Now, if you've played the second Plague Tale game, you may recognize the main character. This is sort of a stealth action prequel, but it's not necessarily a purely stealth action game. Asobo is taking a creative leap here. They're moving away from pure stealth, and they are playing, you are playing as a more capable smuggler. Her name is Sophia, and she is in this game that's a prequel set 15 years before the original game. And I actually did not know about this until recently. It introduces a dual timeline mechanic where actions you take in the ancient Minoan past physically warp and impact the Middle Ages present day. It sounds like a great mechanical twist on a franchise that I think excels at character development and narrative, so I'm excited to jump in once more into sort of the Plague Tale franchise and the Plague Tale world. But this is a big change from that stealth focus of the earlier two games or the previous two games. Is that a good thing in your mind, or is it a reason to skip? Is this something that you're not wanting to jump into? Because some people are kind of tired of the action games and the fighting games, but I can't wait to get into that one. And I wanted to keep the variety going, and this is another one that's going to feel a bit different than the rest. Castlevania Belmont's Curse. I have been saying for a while, I've been wanting a Metroidvania from Metroid, or a Metroidvania from Castlevania, where the very genre gets its names from, and Castlevania's finally getting the grand modern revival that it deserves, returning to the legendary lore of Belmont, of the Belmont clan, with next-gen production values. This is a dream come true for longtime fans, and for me, as a huge Metroidvania fan, this one's pretty high on my top 10 list. This is coming in at number 4, okay? This game looks to feature intricate level design, gothic atmosphere, and a gameplay loop that honors the past while pushing modern action limits with that fluidity of movement that I've come to love in modern action platformers and modern Metroidvanias. So, it's been a long time since we've had a mainline Castlevania. Are you jumping into this one in this sort of a classic, going back to the classic side-scroller roots, or are you skipping that? And they just confirmed that it is, in fact, coming out also on the Switch 2 on its release date in mid-October, on October the 15th. Now, there's another one. There's a lot of swords in today's list. Number 3 is Onimusha, Way of the Sword, and this is tactical samurai combat, there's supernatural horror, and it's peak Capcom action. Capcom is on an absolute tear of 2026, and resurrecting Onimusha is just one more flex on the entire lineup this year. Way of the Sword looks to capture the heavy, deliberate parry and strike samurai gameplay while infusing it with the modern RE engine mastery. Now, I played the demo, and I loved the feel of the game, especially the combat and those parries and those animations. I was very, very much surprised just on how much I enjoyed it. The demons, the sword styles, the counter system, it's just everything action fans should want, and then obviously big, terrifying, very, very strong bosses. Now, they did say that the demo was quite a bit easier than many people expected, but they said the game will be properly challenging. We were essentially playing through the tutorial, which is what kind of I assumed why it was, so easy. The boss that kind of is the crescendo of the demo wasn't too difficult. I actually was going to beat it on my first try, and I got greedy and died right before killing the boss, but that's what I liked about the game. There was definitely the ability to assess where I was making mistakes and where I could improve. So Onimusha did get its release date bumped up. It is now earlier in September, on September the 4th, to kind of avoid that late rush that is happening in September. And speaking of September, the next game on my list is one that shouldn't surprise you. Coming in at number 2 is Marvel's Wolverine from Insomniac Games. It's mature, it's visceral, it's unapologetically violent superhero action, and the hype about this one is that Insomniac has proved they dominate the superhero video game space right now, and Wolverine is a completely new beast of a project. We're not swinging around cheerfully as Peter Parker. This is going to be a mature, hard-hitting, claw-slashing action game. I'm very excited to jump into this one. Now, I was a little concerned about gameplay and combat, but this extensive look that they showcased over the summer really put my mind at ease, and their accessibility page did confirm there will be some dismemberment. Now, we don't see any dismemberment in the trailer. Maybe they wanted to avoid that until you're actually in the game because of age ratings and things like that on YouTube. It's possible why that's not there. As far as I can tell, Insomniac cooked with Wolverine, and we all know what they can do with Spider-Man, so just how excited are you for a fully mature and violent Wolverine game? You can let me know in the comments or the chat. And as always, I'm anxious to hear y'all's lists because we've now reached the number one game that is remaining this year that I am looking forward to, and that is Control Resonant. The vibe of this game is cosmic horror, reality-shifting mechanics, and pure Remedy genius. I recently replayed through the first Control game and remembered just how much I loved it, from the sort of brutalist architecture of the building of the Federal Bureau of Control, to the mystical and mysterious storytelling, to the voice acting, to the really, really creative action. This game is leaving behind the guns and handing you melee, and I just think it looks like an absolute blast. This one's launching September 24th. It's Remedy's most expansive game ever. They're taking a massive swing. They're shifting the sequel into a full melee-focused action RPG. Now, there is no parry, though, which I know is kind of surprising. I'm excited about a game without parrying, but the feedback from the previews has been glowing with respect to the movement, the combat, the mind-bending, gravity-shifting abilities. You can, like, switch your own gravity and end up on the sides of buildings and ceilings. You're going to be playing as Dylan Faden in the middle of a reality-warping crisis in Manhattan. You're no longer in the contained sort of building. You're out in the city, and you're looking for Jessie. She's missing. Now, the latest trailer, the one that I just showed you here, she actually shows up. It looks like she's going to be fighting alongside you at least at some point in the game. I don't know if you're going to be able to play as her again or change back and forth. It'd be cool if they decided to add co-op or some kind of a co-op element in this. That'd be really, really fun to have somebody kind of on the guns, the gun abilities, the range abilities, and somebody on the melee abilities. So playing as Dylan Faden in a wide open reality warping Manhattan, I think with that melee focus and the combat system switch, that is a big change. Let me know in the chat. Are you looking to play this one? Do you think it will top the original Control? And there you have it, chat. That's my top 10 most anticipated games coming in the back half of 2026. And I think if you look at this list that I just went through, you might not even have the same games. You might not even include them. And guess what's missing from those 10 games that I walked through that I'm really looking forward to? The King Kong of 2026, GTA 6. Now, I'm heavily interested in GTA 6 from a business perspective, from a game industry impacting perspective, but I'm a little hesitant to say it's like one of my most anticipated games this year because I've never really been big on the genre or the GTA games. I'm anxious to see if it can grab my attention, but I don't know if it's going to be able to grab my attention and get as much playtime considering the monsoon, the swath of games that are coming out at the end here. I think it's a crazy testament to just how great this year actually is, and we're already halfway through it. I think we should take a step back and look at the sheer variety heading our way. You've got Star Wars Galactic Racer, Gears of War, Castlevania, Onimusha, Control, Wolverine, and then the Leviathan, GTA 6. I'm leaving out some heavy hitters as well. We have no idea when the Zelda game is coming, and there's a giant list of games with the date of 2026 that I feel are just going to slip into next year, making 2027 another flood of games. We're seeing some of the most respected developers in the world take creative risks. They're taking on new projects or new treatments of their own IPs. This list that I put together, I think, is proof of what we talked about in the opening today. Yes, the corporate side of the industry is messy and not great right now. There's painful layoffs. There's hardware sales slowing down and the cost of hardware going up. There's endless debates over digital versus physical and what will the future look like. Those discussions matter. And the developers affected by the layoffs and the loss of all that institutional knowledge and all that loss of talent, that does deserve worry, concern, criticism, and the devs deserve our support that we're suddenly let go. But if you want to know what the future of this medium actually looks like, it doesn't live in a corporate spreadsheet. It lives in the games that we're going to get to play. And as far as I can tell, that's not slowing down anytime soon. This is a good time for the gen of the hardware as well. It starts to mature. We seem to be moving past that awkward transitional phase for the hardware, and they're moving towards, games that are actually running well, landing well, not being a disaster on release date. We also seem to be moving away from bloated, copy-paste open worlds, which I welcome. It's like, yes, we don't need every game to be a collectathon on a giant, overstuffed open world. We're entering a software golden age where mechanics are getting better. I think player agencies being better celebrated. We're seeing great innovation within the systems, within the games themselves. And I really do think a lot of the games I listed today, there is passion on full display. The vibe can shift if we let it. There's never been a more exciting time to be a gamer. I can't wait to experience, play, and stream these titles with you guys. But now, the floor is yours. Let's keep the energy going in the comment section. Drop the ones you are most anticipating. I want to know your top 3. There's so many to choose from for the rest of the year, so do your best to limit it to 3 if you can. Hit like and subscribe, and be sure to stop by a live stream, which many of you hear right now in the live stream. So thank you guys so much for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I said I don't want to talk about any of this negative stuff anymore. It's bumming me out. It's bumming you guys out. So we decided, I tell you what, we're about halfway through the year. No, we're more than halfway through the year. We're basically exactly past that halfway mark. Let's talk about the games that we're looking forward to. Let's have like more of a positive energy in the environment. And those are the 10 games that I came up with. And I actually left some out. I mean, I wasn't able to put every single game on the list. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't Turok have a release date? I thought there was like a Nintendo event that basically leaked the Turok. Or no, it just said fall, I think. I think it just said fall. But yeah, there's so many games that are going to slip. And thank you. I need to get the goal going here. Jack Garland with 48 months, 4 more years. Thank you, sir, for 4 entire years of support at a VIP. And then 13 months coming in. Universal Gamer says, what's up, everyone? We are very much behind pace. Looks like we're going to miss the goal again this week. And that's okay. We just don't do the Saturday stream when we miss the goal. And a $5 super chat from Social Destruct says, Star Wars Racer, I'm especially excited for. The devs were responsible for Burnout, Revenge, and Takedown. 2 of my favorite arcade racers of all time. It still just says fall. Okay. And then Wired Rope is going to secure the first 100 of the week and gets us to 104. I'm fairly certain that I owe Purple, I owe you guys like 2 now, and I believe I owe 2 to YouTube. I'll kind of wait until we're at a 5-bomb. Blind Darkness renews their Prime on Twitch. Thank you so much, Blind Darkness. Love the content in your logical thinking. Happy to use this on you. Guys, always make sure and renew your Primes. You got to do those manually every single month. Good morning, Hilly. Johnny Gaming says Wolverine, GTA 6, Kana 2. I feel like Kana 2 is going to be one of the ones that slip. I'm not trying to bum you out, Johnny. We're all about the good vibes today, but I do feel like Kana 2 is going to slip. And then Joker Quinn, gifts a member. Thank you so much. Phantom Blade and Tokone are on the top of my list this year. Yeah, Tokone's not on my list at all because I just don't really play fighting games. That's just not my vibe, but I'm excited for people to play Tokone because it does look very, very well built, and we know Arc Systems does good work. So it's like, that's just another example of there's so many games. Yeah, I left out Blood of Dawnwalker. Ron is putting his top 3 in the chat. Blood of Dawnwalker, Wolverine, GTA 6. Probably going to see a lot of people. I left out No Rest for the Wicked. Bareth Champion is saying No Rest for the Wicked, Blood of Dawnwalker, and The Expanse. I don't think The Expanse makes it this year. Not all my games will come out this year. I was going to say, I don't even think Expanse is trying to come out this year. But still, a great game to look forward to based on everything that we have seen. Let's get a Reforge coffee train going. Yes, let's. You guys feel free to do that. That's another great way of supporting what we do. If you are ordering coffee or buying coffee on the regular, the current price of our 12-ounce bags is probably cheaper than most of the places that you could go and buy coffee right now. Tides of Annihilation. Tides of Annihilation is going to be playable at Gamescom. I just saw that in the feeds this morning, and I don't know if that means that it's actually on pace to come out this year. That was another one that I thought was going to get delayed. Now, they have time before Gamescom to announce a delay, which is when I would expect them to do it. I would expect them to announce the delay before then. George Purcell says E-Day, Control, and GTA. Seeing a lot of Blood of Dawnwalker. Thrustmaster, Flight for PS5. Which one's that? I have not heard of that one. Blood of Dawnwalker, Control Resonant. Yeah, guys, come on. We need to see more people picking Control Resonant. Crimson Moon says RPG. Lono, have you seen the new game from Bandai, Echoes of Aincrad? It's getting mixed reviews on Steam, but it was anticipated since earlier this year. Yeah, it looked like people were very mixed on it. It didn't look like something that maybe I would play, but it looked like people were pretty mixed on it. Spikes King says Control Resonant. Onimusha, Halo Campaign Evolved. Yeah, I didn't include Halo because Halo's just not going to be at the top of my list. Like, I'm obviously going to play it, but it's not in my top 10. There's so many games, right, Jazster? Psycho Hex says Control, Tides, and Wolverine. Oh, the new Ace Combat. Oh, did you just, like, abbreviate it? I've never seen anybody call it that. Phantom Blade Zero. I'm most excited for Castlevania, says Genshiro. Genshiro. Yes. I am anxious to see. This is my concern for Castlevania, I'll be honest with you. It's landing so close to November. I don't know. What was the game that recently came out that I loved? Was it Shinobi that didn't do very well, and that really bummed me out because it was such a good game? And then Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown, I don't think it did well either commercially, which is such a bummer because, like, Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown is like one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played. I'm getting Control Resonant, but it's not on my top games. Let's see. It's not this year, but I'm pumped for God of War Lao Fei. Perfectly fine to include that one. That one's looking very good. I think that's going to be first quarter next year. I think they want it to land in this fiscal period because it's ready. I do. I think God of War Lao Fei was supposed to be November. I think GTA screwed it up. And I think they want it to land in this fiscal period because they stinking paid for it and it's ready to go. So I think that's my guess. Yeah, Beasts of Reincarnation looks very good. I know it's DLC, but Dragon's Dogma 2... No, you can include DLC. Some of the DLCs coming out are pretty substantive. I mean, the DLC in Doom the Dark Ages just gets better and better the more I play it. It is literally like a small sequel that they build. It's very good. I am absolutely loving it. It's got its own new skill tree, its own new weapon, the spear. Like, it really changes the flow of battle. So DLCs are completely legitimate to include in games that you're looking forward. Did you add my resubscribe? Snake Eyes, I'm sorry I didn't see that. 19 months. Welcome back, Snake Eyes. That's a lot of months. Thank you guys for watching on Twitch and or YouTube. I appreciate it. Crimson Desert has DLC coming before the end of the year. I had not heard that. I knew they were doing it. Yeah, Moth of the Old Country's got DLC coming. That's relatively soon. Yep, I forgot about Star Wars Zero Company. That's not a game that's really going to vibe with me, but you guys that love those XCOM-style games, Star Wars Zero Company's got a lot of people excited for it. And just one more game to add to the list. I mean, there's so many. This year is probably Halo this month, then maybe Control and Castlevania for me. M. Gene says Silent Hill Townfall. Yep, I didn't include Silent Hill Townfall. Those games are not really my vibe. But another game that a lot of people are looking forward to. It's just insane how many games are coming out. Anyone mentioned the Zelda remake? I mentioned it in passing in the show open just because we still don't know the date. Psycho Hex, there you are. Hex, good to see you, brother. 56 months in a VIP. We are eating good this year for sure. Looking forward to seeing you stream some of these games. Thank you, sir. Let me add you to the total. Dragon's Dogma 2, Arise, Rayman Legends. Yep, I forgot about Rayman Legends. That's one I'll be definitely playing with Madam. Duskbloods. Do we have a date yet for Duskbloods? And K. Cole with 41 months. Thank you so much. God of War, Blood Message, Wolverine, Stranger Than Heaven. Oh, I forgot about Stranger Than Heaven. Is Stranger Than Heaven this year? I felt like that was, did they even have a release date, or is that one still 2026? Nope, Stranger Than Heaven is saying it's January. Close enough. I'll allow it. I'll allow you to pick that one, because that is January. Is Blood Message this year as well? I thought that one, let's see, Blood Message, July. No, I'm sorry. There is no release date as of July. Yeah, I don't know if Blood Message is coming this year. Bro Sexy with 49 months. You might just be saying it's a game you're looking forward to. Bro Sexy says, just in case you missed it, 4, Castlevania, 3, Phantom Blade Zero, number 2, Wolvie, number 1, Control. Great list. Almost as many months as my age. Count it. Thank you for 49 months. A lot of months. David Hudat with a $5 super chat tip. I've been gaming since 1982. I average 1,500 hours of playtime a year, and I still have a backlog. Gaming has never been better. Listen, that's why I wanted to cover this today. I don't know. I like covering the gaming news but I also sometimes don't like covering the gaming news. And last week and yesterday and the day before, it just wore me out. I was like, this just isn't fun. And I didn't feel like you guys were having fun. And I was like, let's just do something different. Let's just boot up and say, hey, gaming's not dead. Gaming isn't dying. There's a lot of good things coming. Let's have a good stream and just a positive time talking about the games we're looking forward to, because it's about to be a very, very consistent cadence. As soon as we get out of July, it's very, very consistent. So, gaming's not dying. I agree with you. It's not. My top 3, says B&E, Blood of Dawnwalker, Beast of Reincarnation, and I can't call it between Phantom Blade and Belmont's Curse. Isn't that a great problem to have? You know? Guys, I'm trying to read everybody's comments. If I miss you, just repeat it. A guarantee is a super chat, but you do not have to super chat to talk to me. We try not to require that here. I try to read as much as I possibly can. Gaming has been phenomenal in 2026. The background crap has not, and we all know that. That's right. This is already more fun to me, says Anthony. I'm going to try to get more creative with the shows. Maybe, I don't know. I've wanted to move away from a lot of that stuff anyway, because it just turns into like, you know, I told you so's and rage bait. Like, I'm like, yeah, I told you guys this was going to happen, and it's terrible, isn't it? And then people come in and rage baits, and it's just like, what are we doing? Like, is this really what we're going to do? So, you know, we're going to try to come up with more shows and ideas and topics like this for you guys. Hot Shot coming in with the Prime on Twitch. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. I'd love to start sharing games with you guys on Saturday night with what Madam and I are doing, but like it's a lot to ask for that long stream, so we make that a goal and a stretch goal. So that's another thing we like to do that I think people really enjoy, but that is something that we set as an incentive. Hilly says, my top 3, Halo, Gears, and GTA in that order. Not surprising that Halo's at the top of that list, Mr. Hilberg, as my kiddos call you. Hot Shot with 39 months renews and says, doing this one too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Maybe just once a week, rage baiting. I wasn't even trying to rage bait. I was genuinely being like, this stinks. And then yesterday I was like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. Let's do something different. You know what I mean? That's my thoughts on it, is like, let's do something different. Let's just talk about the games that we're looking forward to. And that's that I think is the goal. The goal today is to just do that. Gaming isn't dying, but live services are. I don't know if live services are dying, dude. I mean, Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls, it's not going to be like the biggest game of the year, but that's a brand new game. It's going to be ongoing. I think you're going to continue to see live service games take a crack. Pragmata and Black Flag Remake, I'll get to it at some point. Yeah, I'm just going to save my top 10 games so far that I've played this year, because I don't want to. We might have to do that as a different stream or a different video, because it's like there's a bunch of games coming that look amazing, and I've already played a bunch of games that were amazing. And DK Bager is going to gift a single and get us to 113. Thank you so much, Mr. DK Bager. Almost every game is getting almost every game getting updates is live service. Well, I don't know if updates is. I mean, if it's an ongoing content funnel, new characters, roadmaps, seasons, things like that. Great shirt, Lono. Speaking, do we know if Black Panther and Cap game is still coming? Okay, so there was 2, and I believe one was canceled and one was not. It's Enjoy with 37 months. Welcome back. Says my top 3: GTA 6, Wolverine, Halo, Campaign Evolved. What's interesting too about these lists that you guys are putting is there's overlap, but there's not consistency. Like, somebody might pick like what you picked, and then Hilly didn't have Wolvie. Hilly had Gears. He had GTA 6, Halo, and then Gears. And then you have GTA 6, Halo, and Wolverine. I just feel like that's a good sign when everybody's picking lists that are similar, but not perfectly overlapping. When I say live service, I mean always online titles. I mean, the difficulty with defining live service as always online is you can have games like Marvel Tokone where you can totally play it and never go online if you never want to, but it's definitely intended to be an ongoing game. I think of live service slightly different, which is fine. Everybody can kind of think of it differently, but for the sake of the conversation, it can get a little confusing. I think of live service games as ongoing games. It's an ongoing game. That doesn't necessarily mean you always have to be online, if that makes sense. If my distinction makes sense, that's why I don't think, it has to be online all the time, because that's how I kind of view it. Dan says, Control 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That's the first time I've seen it today. I may have missed people saying it, but it's the first time I've seen somebody put Call of Duty and then E-Day. Perfect Image says, any Switch titles? Castlevania Belmont's, Orbitals. The split-screen co-op game Orbitals is a Switch exclusive. Somebody put Duskbloods. That's a Switch exclusive. And then some people mentioned Zelda. We don't know when Zelda Ocarina of Time is coming. That's obviously a Switch exclusive. I approve of the vibes today, Lono. Appreciated. Listen, I'm going to say this, and I need you to understand what I'm saying. If you like the vibe shift and you want more streams like this, I want more streams like this. But if we are going to decouple ourselves from, like, news and this thing just happened, if we decouple ourselves from that, you got to turn out. You got to show up. You got to hit like. You got to do all the things. You got to do all those things right now. You understand what I'm saying? This doesn't work without the audience going in on it and going for it, because we're bucking the system. I'm saying, I don't feel like playing this chase the top story, chase the negative, because that's what works. You guys know that's what works in these spaces. You got to go negative. You got to be angry. And I would like to not do that every single day of every single week. Every once in a while, I think it's okay to be a little annoyed or, something negative happened. But, like, if we're going to do this, y'all got to show up. Y'all got to throw your support behind the content. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it works. Wolverine, Phantom Blade, and GTA says Hidden's here. And Alex is going to drop 5 gifteds on Twitch. Thank you so much, sir. Here's what I'm getting this month. It's a PC boomer shooter, and that's finally to consoles. It's called Cultic. My wife and I haven't had a chance to check out Abyssus, which was like a 4-player co-op rogue shooter that looked really fun, and it's got pretty good review scores, but we are just still loving Astral Ascent. It is just so good. We've gotten to the point where we can get all the way to the end and beat the final boss, and so we're just grinding and upgrading to where we can actually, like, legitimately beat him, because, like, right now he kills you after you're done. It's kind of like, the Sworn was the same way when we played Sworn, like King Arthur would kill us after we beat him. It's not your fault, Sony and Xbox have been crap in the bed. Well, we don't have to, though, do we? Let them do it. You know what I mean? Barn80 says, Lono, do you think Red Dead Redemption 2 will ever get a next-gen patch? Okay, so this is what we're hearing from a reliable leaker. I believe it was Nate the Hate that leaked this one. It's ready to go. The Red Dead 2 next-gen update is ready to go. They were tucking it away and saving it in the event that they had to delay GTA 6 again. Business is apparently super fun. Great. I've got a great co-op a great co-op rogue shooter that I can save to play with my wife, because we really enjoyed Gunfire Reborn, RoboQuest, and Dead Zone Rogue. So I'm going to save that one, because we are just having such a good time with Astral Ascent. I'm so surprised. Madam's actually getting really good at the platforming. She hates jumping, but the other night she was doing something, and I was like, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to, like, jinx it, but I was like, man, she just kind of just got through that like it was nothing. She used to hate platform. She probably still doesn't like it, but she's actually good at it. Lona, did you count my Prime? Oh, I didn't see it. The Second Love with the Prime on purple. We're 5 away from the next milestone of 25. And Second Love says, solid year on Twitch. Wolverine, GTA 6, God of War Lao Fei. Plus, I'm very curious about Blood of Dawnwalker and the time mechanic. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Blood of Dawnwalker, whenever you do something of significance, like a side quest or a main quest, you're going to be spending time. It's like a currency, and it advances the game's story. And a 5-bomb comes in from Cardoc Ren. Purple steals it. I now owe 3 to Twitch. I'll pay up when I owe a 5-bomb, so keep it going, boys. Get a little train going. Oh, there actually is a hype train going on Twitch, so now's a great time to start doing your gifteds, boys. We are at level 2. Thank you very much, Cardoc Ren. Yeah, it sounds like a cool mechanic. All right, Talika, the Discord mom, says Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave, Splatoon Raiders. I forgot about Splatoon Raiders. This is such a good piece of news about Splatoon Raiders, and then Zelda Ocarina of Time. Okay, so we know Tally, right? She's all about the Nintendo. Splatoon Raiders is not strictly single player as I thought it was, because when they keep talking about it, they keep talking about it as a single player game. And I was like, why would Splatoon make a game where you can't play with your buddies? Splatoon Raiders allows you to play with up to 3 people. It is indeed online co-op if you would like. Now, I think I might have to buy it twice because of the way Nintendo does game sharing. But I'm like, that's another great game I might play with my wife. Like, that's another co-op game we might check out, because when I saw the trailers, I thought, man, that could be really, really fun. But I was like, I'm not going to play Splatoon by myself. Like, I don't like Splatoon enough. Does that make sense? It ensures that you can't gorge yourself on all the content in one playthrough. I'm about to do a heel turn. You're going to do a heel turn? What do you mean heel turn? Lono, have you seen the game called Reblade the Death Spiral? It's a Rogue Souls with parries. It looks dope. Reblade the Death Spiral. What do we have here? What is it now? Is this one Steam? Is this one Steam only? Wishlist now. Looks like it's going to be Steam only. So, what do we have here, sir? Let's see here. Spiral Up made this one. I don't know who that is. All right. Okay. And another 5 bomb comes in. Let's get the members up. I can't see them. Thank you so much for 5 more. Mr. Jack Garland. That's what he meant by turning heel. He's going to gift on Twitch and help the member goal over there. And I'm sorry, he's also helping the hype train. Yeah, this does look good. It's interesting that it's isometric. Okay, so she's parrying rockets. I'm down with that. Okay, good iframes on the dodge. All right. Oof, that one hurts. This looks quite good. So, Cyberpunk Action Roguelike, developed by Chili Room. Available on PC. So, this one, we'll go back out here and we'll check it out. Check out. No release date to be announced. So, it's already on my wish list. Look at that. Well, there you go. I was like, as I was watching it, I was like, I feel like I've watched this one before. New video from Shroud to check out later. Okay. He says the Xbox Bloodbath is way bigger than it seems. Oh, great. Great. Can't wait to find out that it's worse than we thought. Forgot about Lords of the Fallen 2. I thought Lords of the Fallen 2 is next year. Also, this is co-op play. Usually Splatoon is playing against another team, and I'm just not a fan of playing shooters against other teams. The PvE aspect is what's drawing me to the Splatoon Raiders game. And I forgot Star Wars Galactic Racer. That's my number, on my top 10 list, that was my number 10. I can't believe a racing game is on my top 10 list for the rest of the year. The rogue element really, really has me intrigued. So, all right, Twitch, you have 50 seconds to keep the hype train going. You know, we haven't had a good hype train in a while. They always dwindle and fade because it usually does it in the first 5 minutes of the show and nobody's really here yet. So this is your chance, Twitch. Did you speak on the Cyberpunk news of it not being accessible after October? I'm sorry, what? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. How would the game not be accessible after October? I'm not sure. Are you using the correct word? I assume Kena 2 won't make it out this year. I don't think it's going to make it. I think it's going to get delayed. 10 seconds, Twitch. You're probably out of time. Wait. Maybe. No. Wired Rope tried to save it by himself, but the stay of execution wasn't enough. Thank you for the 5 bomb, Mr. Wired Rope. We're now sitting at 135 on the week. If you guys want to end on pace, we need to end the day at 300. Have you seen Vapor World? It's like 2D Lies of P. Vapor World? I have not seen this, no. Vapor World, 2 months ago. ID at Xbox game. Let's see here. It's coming to Steam. It's coming to Switch. It's coming to PS5, PC, Xbox. Okay. I feel like I did see this one. It's a little... I like all of this. I like these in-between scenes and stuff. Let's get into the... Okay. It reminds me of the... It's hard to explain what it is. It's like he's made of a bunch of like you know those wooden dolls that you can like move around and then draw to help you model them. It looks like I can see each individual part moving with weight. Do you guys remember Salt and Sanctuary? I think the movement and the swinging and all the running in Salt and Sanctuary looked and felt like that. It can feel a little not great, I'll say. I would be willing to give this a try just to see how it feels, how the parry windows are, how punishing it is. One of the reasons, this is very much inspired by Liza P. One of the reasons I fell out with Salt and Sanctuary is I didn't know where to go, and I'm not a fan of a game that's like that. That's like where the combat's brutal and punishing, and I don't know where to go. That always kind of irritates me. If you guys are enjoying the show and you want to show some support, you can do it right now. Real easy way to show support for today's show. Hit the like button. Get us to 200 likes. Just looked it up. The only news for Cyberpunk is that it sold 40 million copies. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Not accessible. I've not seen anything about that. It sounds... Give me a sec. I'm trying to find the info. Okay, yeah. I think maybe you got, dude. I think you got. Feed is in the chat without a badge, no less. That was my gripe with the game also. Yeah, like, I remember I beat the first boss in Salt and Sanctuary, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty dope. And then I went to go to the next area, and I was like, well, do I go down and to the left? Do I go down and go further down? Do I go down and to the right? And then when I would do that, you would get attacked, you'd get shot, you'd get killed, you'd get hit with arrows or whatever. The environment, the enemies, it's punishing, right? It's on brand. But then I was just like, I don't want to do this. Just tell me where to go. I'm fine fighting a boss over and over again, but tell me where to go. Now, that obviously was back when I was kind of more in the mood for that kind of game. I'm not really in the mood for that kind of game anymore. I've just really lost my flavor for it. Joker Quinn with a single gifted. Thank you so much, sir. Getting us to 136. He's trying to give one to Mr. Feed there. Mr. Mark in the chat. You guys need to call your shots and see if you can't get Mr. Feed back up and running. Appreciate it right now. What is this? Who is this that keeps emailing me? A Cyberpunk thing has to do with something about no more Windows updates for it. Well, that's not going to make it inaccessible. Are they just saying they're not going to patch it? I've not seen anything about that. I don't know what he's talking about. Narwhal says, Vive's been great today. Keep up the good work. Don't let me ruin it. That's right. Cyberpunk is dropping Windows 10 support and switching to Windows 11. That's it. The game isn't going to be unplayable. Oh. It sounds like the person in chat that brought that up just fell victim to a headline. Like, they probably saw the headline in their feed and thought, oh no, the game's going to be inaccessible because, people are trying to get you to click. Unfortunately, one of the pieces of collateral damage when that's the kind of thing that is out there is people don't click, and then the headline becomes the narrative. You know what I mean? Like, they make the headline so that you click. So you saw it, and you're like, oh my gosh, people are it's going to be inaccessible, huh? And then you come in, you're like, Lono, did you see this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? We dig, and we find out, like, oh, it's a Windows thing. So... you must have read it wrong. I would bet that you didn't. I'd put money on the table that you just read a headline that was designed to be inflammatory, and you were like, oh, no. And then you come in here, and we're like, yeah, that's not really the full story. That's just a common problem these days. I get it. we obviously try to use some level of emotion in our thumbnails and stuff to get people to come in. I don't ever try to have something that's like not accurate or misleading. Ward Huff gifts a member. Thank you so much. It gets us to 137. Made it seem like it wouldn't be supported by Windows 11. Oh, okay. No, yeah. That's not an issue. So Duskbloods literally announced this 5 minutes ago. So this is obviously relevant to today's discussion. We'll be hosting a network test for Duskbloods on the Nintendo Switch 2 from August 21st to August 24th. That's a weekend. Participant registration will begin on July 22nd. So a week from today, you can start to register for this. To all prospective Bloodsworn, we eagerly await your participation in the upcoming battles. Listen, this just continues to make me not super confident. I really just don't have a lot of confidence in this game running well on the Switch due to the actual processing power of the Switch. But then I'm also concerned just about the netcode integrity. They're just not known for that. Like, Nintendo's not known for that. That's not really their vibe. That's not really their thing. I would be I don't know. I would be very, very hesitant to be like, just, I don't want to doomsday it, but I don't want to hype it either. I'm like, I would keep y'all's expectations in check, man. It just seems really weird. It's supposed to come out this year. We've seen very little. We still don't have a release date. I'd be cautious with that one. I would sign up for the tech test and see if you can't get a beat on where the game is. You know? See if you can't figure it out. It's worth noting that editors write headlines, not the writers. Is that true all of the time or just some of the time? I don't think that's true all of the time. I don't know if that... there's probably some outfits where that's true, but I would hazard a guess a lot of these places, they write their own headlines. Hidden Series says, I'm not interested at all in an online player Souls game. Barely interested in a single player one these days. Yeah, I have a hard enough time wanting to play a Souls game in general, let alone like playing against other people. You know, that's just not a thing I want to do either. So, let's see here. Any other news? Yeah, FromSoft is officially announcing the Duskbloods thing. Which of these IPs confirmed for 2026 are you the most excited about, says Spawnyard. He's asking about the Relic Guardian, Beasts of Reincarnation, Valor Mortis, and the Blood of Dawnwalker. Those are all games that we've heard mentioned a few times by some of you guys this morning. I don't know if anybody mentioned Valor Mortis, but we did have some people mention Beast of Reincarnation and Dawnwalker. The Relic, it's not the Relic Guardian, sorry. The Relic First Guardian. The Relic First Guardian. I looked at gameplay yesterday, like, it looks fine. I'm not seeing enough to really make me come out of my skin for it. There's just too many games. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that is probably the the underbelly of weakness here with all these this amazing strong lineup. Really strong lineup. If your game is even remotely average, you're probably you're probably going to struggle to get a lot of attention. So, I wrote for a local newspaper, and the editor would always change my headline. His really sucked, I thought. Mr. Beast says, I'm looking for the best creative storytellers on the planet. I have 3 questions I want you to answer and then submit. That's all you have to do to apply to work here, and someone on my team will review every application. Let's change the world. So, okay. What worked? What would you change? Build on an existing format. So he's literally asking people to apply that way. There you go. I'm a little behind, but Crimson Desert still has me by the balls, says Zack Attack. What was really interesting about Crimson Desert is how much, people kind of talked about it was headed for, like Game of the Year. And I don't know if people are still going to argue that case. By the time the Game Awards comes around, like there's just been so many other games. Guys, make sure you're hitting the like button. Get us to 200 likes to steal ideas. I know, like, that makes me super hesitant to be like, he says, what worked? Pick 2 Mr. Beast videos from the last year and walk us through what you think worked best. Be specific about moments, structure, pacing, characters, stakes, emotion, retention, thumbnails, titles, or anything else you noticed. What should we do more of? What would you change? Pick 1 to 2 Mr. Beast videos from the last year and tell us what you would change. Be direct. What didn't work? Where did the video lose energy? What would you rewrite, cut, or restructure? And then build an existing format. Build on an existing format. Imagine you're a creative strategist in our creative room with our team working on a new version of a proven format. Your job is to make it better. Take any one of... See, the problem... Yeah. I like Jimmy, but I don't like that. Yeah, I like Mr. Beast, but I don't like that. You're basically going to be getting thousands upon thousands of free ideas. I don't know. That makes me feel funny. Crimson Desert may not win Game of the Year award, but it's certainly a very fun and good game. I'm sure units are affected, but then the crappy news sites claim it's a widespread issue. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I just heard about Dying Light 2 removed their prologue, and Dying Light the Beast has been canceled for PS4 and the Xbox One. I know a few people who pre-ordered it and can't play it now. Huh. That annoying Day 1 DLC in Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync earned Ubisoft $1 million. Wah. I burned out on Crimson Desert. That was the thing with Crimson Desert. I couldn't even get started. I couldn't even get started. I was like, there's too much here. There's too much to do. I'll never even put a dent in this game. It's just too much. Too much. Some games are so dense, I know I'm never going to make any headway in them. I'm like, I'm never going to make any headway in this, dude. No way. The Liquid Metal fiasco that people blew out of proportion. Oh, the situation with like the PlayStation 5 or whatever. Yeah. Okay. The situation with the Steam machine is apparently some kind of a bug. Like, it's supposed to trigger overheat warning and shutdown at like 100 Celsius or something. Currently, it's like 95, 90. And the one guy was triggering it, and he wasn't even close to that yet. So they're going to push out some kind of a BIOS update. Apparently, it's not actually overheating. It's a bug. It's thinking that it's overheating when it's not. The actual temperature reports are not close to the overheating threshold. I'm loving Crimson Desert right now. I'm bouncing between 4 games at the moment, though. AC Shadows, Crimson Desert, Witcher 2, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. I can't really bounce between games. I can't do it. Like, right now, I want to finish Doom the Dark Ages DLC so I can go back to AC Black Flag Resync. But I bounce between games only when I'm playing, like if I'm playing one with Madam and then one by myself. That's it. That's the extent that I will bounce between games. God bless you. Thank you. It's way too much, especially when it launched in early access unofficially. Oh, you thought the Steam machine. Yeah, to spend that kind of money and to be like, oh, there's already there's an overheat issue in the BIOS or whatever. Hopefully it's a pretty minor thing. Because I was like, really? Like, wow, overheating. But then I looked at the reports, and it's like, oh, it's actually like a bug. It's not actually overheating. I'm like, okay. I don't know if the criticisms or complaints of the PS5 Liquid Metal, I don't think was overblown at all. Basically, everyone, I believe, even Sony, acknowledged it was an issue. I don't think they ever acknowledged it, and I don't think it was widespread. It was overstated. I think there was like a handful of people that claimed it was this big issue, but then like that was it was like here and gone in the blink of an eye. I don't remember it getting any foothold. I don't think so. It's not affecting a large amount of people. Don't leave the console vertical simple. I've left all of my consoles vertical the entire time. I don't remember Sony ever acknowledging it. Crimson Desert would have been more intriguing to me if the story wasn't mid. I mean, we heard that there was I don't want this in my feed anymore. I'm just sorry. I am officially shifting out of the bad vibeville. I'm unfollowing folks on Twitter now. I'm like, I don't even want to see this. It's just I'm done with it. It's so just same thing every day. I hate bouncing between games, but I can't make up my mind on what to play. Well, that I understand. That is actually a hard thing right now. I mean, there's so many games. Like, what's the one, Mina the Hollower or whatever? After playing Adventures of Elliot and loving it so much, Mina's, that little indie game is definitely sitting there, calling my name. You live dangerous. I guess I live dangerously with my console vertical. Yeah, I didn't realize that I was living dangerously. My Pro's been vertical since November of 2024. Had both my base and Pro vertical and have never had overheat issue. Yeah, Moss the Forgotten Relic launches on PS5 tomorrow. It's a reimagining of Moss Book 2. Oh, Moss Book 2 and the Twilight Garden expansion. I don't think I ever played that game. Didn't Moss also do I feel like they also did a VR game. I feel like they did. I don't remember playing that one either, but I feel like back when the PSVR 2 was a thing, I remember being a little disappointed because they were like, yeah, we're announcing some new VR games, and one of them was like the Moss game, and I was like, dude, I didn't get VR to play that. Moss was only VR. Oh, so is this a reimagining of those games now that are so that you can play them without VR? Is that what that is? They didn't say directly we acknowledge the liquid metal issue. They remodeled the future consoles to help fight against the issue, which to me is acknowledging it and the issue. I mean, sure, if you redefine the word acknowledge, you can make it mean anything. It did have VR. Okay. I had it on the Quest 3. Okay. Got it. Well, I mean, it looks like a cute little charming adorable game where you play as a mouse. It doesn't really call to me, but there's too many games coming out this year, honestly, to even really play them all. So if there's some that are a little bit on the bubble, as it were, they're just gonna have to sit in the backlog. They're just gonna have to sit in that backlog. We will certainly have plenty of games to play next year because a lot of games are going to slip, but you'll also have plenty of games to play next year because there's a lot of games that you're probably just going to shove into the backlog. Oh, there's a demo you can try? My base and Pro have never overheated. I do regular cleaning and dusting. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think people that were having overheating issues, it's probably a bit something you could blame on the user. They got it inside a cabinet covered in dog hair, and you're like, the thing can't breathe. You know what I mean? I don't know. Power World 1.0 has been very fun. Did you start over, or did you pick up where you left off? Like, how did you experience it? But that's another game that I'm kind of going to tuck away in Madam and I's backlog, as I think we'll go back into Power World and start over fresh. And, learn from a lot of our mistakes of, let's build somewhere else. Let's, space certain things out. I've jumped back on to solo leveling Overdrive, perfect for my brain off game. I've not seen anything. I don't know what that even is. They added grooves in the Gen PS5 models to keep the liquid metal in place more. Tronix Fix showed them when he fixed one. You started over on 1.0. You started Power World over. It's been a blast. Okay. That's encouraging because that's what I was going to do with Madam. We got super far. Our base was a disaster. It was a disaster. I had a second base just so I could send people on expeditions. And I was like, it was just not pretty. It was like, this is pretty bad. And I just didn't feel like, moving and rebuilding. So we just kind of, that was around the time I kind of didn't want to play anymore because I was like, man, we kind of don't, I don't like where everything is right now. Tronics Fix is his name. Oh, it's a repair channel. You started Pal World over. I can't get off. Well, Jamal, that's a big pause there, but glad that you started Pal World over. Pal World 1.0. I continued my game, and I also started a new game. They changed so much in reality. I would start over. That's just me. Okay. I was leaning towards starting over. Now, Madam's going to be upset because she's going to lose some of her pals. She's got a couple that she's named. She's got like the bird with like the surgical mask on or whatever that thing is. That's her. That's Alfred. And she really liked running around and exploring with Alfred. It was like her favorite thing. My first base is always uglier than Sin, but working on my second base now, and it's looking mighty nice. Yeah. Whose job is it to get broken consoles and then extrapolate it to 1 million to claim it's a widespread issue? Yeah, I feel like if that was a widespread issue, we've had widespread issues before, okay? We've had widespread issues before, and that's why I'm always hesitant when we start hearing things. I'm like, all right, hang on, let's wait, because like the situation with the Steam machine, I was like, really, already overheating? And then we get the true story, and it's like, oh, it's a thing with the BIOS or whatever. You can transfer PALs between your save files now. You can. That's the main reason I did not delete my old game. I put in way too much work with my bases and pals. Just remember that when you build upwards once you... you can build upwards once you run out of space. You're right. We actually never really got too big into the base building in Pal World. We were more about going and getting the pals and clearing the map. I wasn't really big on, like, I'm going to build a homestead and a house and a building. Like, that's just never been my vibe. He literally dropped one on its side to see if the liquid metal would move, and it didn't. Yeah, I like I said, if something... and Blood of Dawnwalker has gone gold, y'all. This just got announced 33 minutes ago. The Blood of Dawnwalker has gone gold, so it is on pace. It's coming. It's not going to get delayed. I didn't anticipate it being delayed. The last couple of showcases felt like they were moving along very, very nicely. So if a game right now doesn't have a release date, okay? If it doesn't have a release date and it's just 2026, then I think it's going to slip out of this year. Personally, that's not fear-mongering. That's just me saying, hey, my personal take is that if you don't have a release date, you're not making it in 2026. There's too many games right now. There's just too many. Calendar's too full to risk it. Companies don't redesign systems, including cooling, for fun. They do it either to cut costs or to fix a known issue, or both. Yeah, I don't think anybody's denying that they attempted to fix or streamline or something, but they clearly didn't come out and say, oh yeah, hey, sorry about that, the liquid metal can move. Like, it wasn't acknowledged. And even, again, I think if it was widespread, there would have been a lot more reports. When something's widespread, like the Red Ring of Death, it's obvious. Everybody's talking about it. Like, it's like a thing that everybody's experiencing. I played God of War 2018 and Ragnarok back to back. The gameplay is surprisingly different for games that are only 4 years apart from the same team and engine. Well, I would say they did not want to have it just be like a bunch. This is why, the charge that it was DLC was always kind of irritating. I think they probably really wanted to avoid it just feeling like DLC. Just like, yep, here's just more of that game and that combat. I think they went a little too far, though, if you want my honest opinion. I think they did too much with Atreus. It's like they really, really wanted to dump on like new gameplay mechanics. I think Atreus is a bridge too far. Like riding around on a yak and having to play as him multiple times. I was like, yeah, I think they did too much with him. Talika says, I think Nintendo is going to pop out Zelda Ocarina of Time in November and just be like GTA 6. Who? I mean, there's probably only one franchise that could do that. If somebody's like, is there a franchise that could weather the storm in November and drop a game and still do incredibly well, I'd be like, well, it would have to be a Nintendo game. I think first it would have to be a Nintendo game because it would have to be in a completely different, customer base and funnel. It couldn't be in the traditional console space. It couldn't be like on a PlayStation or like an Xbox. Either Nintendo or like a really, really big PC game. Discord on mute. Wow, that took a long time today, Discord. Or something entrenched on PC, like Phantom Blade Zero is from a Chinese developer and is primarily, I think, going to get most of its sales on PC in China, and I don't think it'll be affected by Grand Theft Auto like at all. So it would have to check one of those boxes, like really, really big on PC or a really, really big Nintendo game. Well, when you go to Nintendo and you look historically at how their games have sold, Zelda's the king, if you look at like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So I think Ocarina of Time could certainly land in November and be like, we don't really care. GTA 6 doesn't scare us, Yeah, the one franchise other than Zelda that could get away with it is certainly Barbie. Yeah, I would agree with that. Barbie could get away with it. As they're trying to. What is it? It's Barbie and it's what's the other one? Barbie and is it Godzilla? Isn't there like a Godzilla game? Zelda Switch 2 bundles. Yeah, I'm not sure when they're going to announce like what their. I don't know what Nintendo's play is. I don't know how they typically like to market. Do they have do they have predictable timelines, or not? Genuinely kind of curious where they land on it. Mute. All hail Zilla. Dude, Godzilla could get in there. Godzilla could get in there and do numbers. You never know. Barbie and GTA have a lot of overlap. Both have a lot of dress up and riding around in cool cars. I mean, you're not wrong, Jack. You're not wrong. They're different markets. Yeah, I think Zelda would be fine. I think trying to read Nintendo's tea leaves. Oh, you stopped trying to read Nintendo's tea leaves moons ago. Rayman's Legends Retold is coming in October. There are some brave souls in October. There are some brave souls that are saying, we will brave the waters of October. Belmont's Curse is landing in October. Rayman Legends is like right at the jump of October. And what else? I feel like there's another game that's deciding to brave October, and I can't think of who it is. Let's take a peek here at the schedule over here on releases. So you have Rayman Legends Retold in October. We've got some Octopath Traveler for the Switch. Ace Combat, that was the other game I think I was thinking of. They're braving October. Gears of War E-Day is braving October. Star Wars Galactic Racer is braving October. They're right at the beginning, though. They don't want to go too deep in there. Pause. Hellraiser Revival The Dragon's Dogma DLC, Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC, Valor Mortis. There's my game right there, Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Then Enshrouded, is this coming to Xbox as well? Yeah, Xbox and PC. I think this is their 1.0, right? Or at least it's coming to console. Final Fantasy Resonance is braving October. What is this? Gunvolt? Is this like a Mega Man? I feel like this is probably like a Mega Man adjacent game. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I can't. No hate, no shade. I can't get down with Mega Man. It just doesn't pull me in. October 23rd, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, and then October 29th, Phantom Blade 0. So if you think October thins out because it's October, No Rest for the Wicked is apparently doing their 1.0 there as well. So November, obviously, there's Godzilla staring down the barrel. Metaphor Refantasio is coming to Switch 2, and then there's your Barbie Rewind, and then GTA 6. In the wake of GTA 6, there's nothing else in November at the calendar, just nothing. Estimated, ahoy. Yeah, ahoy there, matey. And then December, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and then these are all the estimateds that I think all these are slipping. Turok, Mariachi Legends looks good. Wolf Among Us Remastered. I don't know if we have a date for that yet. I think all of this stuff is going to slip. Kena Bridges Spirits 2 will likely slip. And now we're getting to next year. So, yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to need Nintendo to step up the first-party Switch 2 releases. Here's the challenge with Nintendo and wanting them to do that. They don't really need to, and I think they probably know that. They're just we don't really need to do that. We can just lean on other big releases and remakes. You know what I mean? I don't know. They've had a really interesting start to the Switch 2. If you really think about it. It's been a really interesting start. They're just there doesn't seem to be any urgency from them. And it's probably because they know, at some level they might be sandbagging a little bit. If they save a mainline Zelda and a mainline Mario, they know that when they drop that, it's going to create a resurgence of sales and demand for their product. And they basically are just coasting on the early adopters. It sucks for Switch 2 early adopters. Right, and they knew they could count on early adopters to just be there immediately. Yeah, and I think they know a mainline Zelda or mainline, Mario would certainly create a big influx because people are going to be like, dude, I'm not missing out on, whatever it is that they do next. The Metroid game didn't do very well. I don't know how well Star Fox did. That's another one in my backlog. I played the tutorial and I was like, this just feels so good, but I got pulled into Doom. And I wanted to finish Adventures of Elliot. I wanted to finish that before Doom DLC came out. The recent reporting Switch may be going to OLED panels from Samsung. Yes, I did see that. I'm not surprised, and I remember saying to people, because there were some folks asking, do you think they're going to do an OLED? And before it launched, I said, yeah. They did it with the Switch 1, right? But I did say, when they do an OLED, we'll know it, because those contracts always end up leaking. Hey, somebody's ordering, a pretty large amount of OLED screens from Samsung. I wonder who that is. Especially if you can look at the dimensions as well. So I don't know when that'll enter production or be available. And because the other thing you got to consider is just, rising hardware costs is affecting everybody. YouTube Mobile still doesn't have username autocomplete. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough trying to type in a YouTube chat on mobile. Nintendo has no reason to improve the quality of their games because they'll sell well without them spending more time and resources on them. Well, I don't necessarily think like that the quality hasn't been there. Star Fox felt great. Mario Kart was, I think, very quality. You know, I didn't play the Metroid game, but I didn't feel like anybody complained that like Metroid wasn't a quality game. I don't think they feel pressure to go wild with their cadence and like shipping first party games. I don't think they feel that pressure because it just isn't necessary. Kirby Air Riders, I think got very good praise. Power World's popping off. Yeah, I mean, that studio is got to just be, I don't know, they're kind of living the dream. They took on Nintendo and won, and I mean that's a pretty big victory in and of itself. That's a pretty big victory. I told y'all to go play more Bonanza if you want more Mario, since that was the Odyssey team. I saw somebody review Bonanza on Twitter. I don't know who it was, and they said that the first half kind of drug, but the back half was a lot better, and they really enjoyed it. And Switch Sports Resort is October 22nd. Oh, really? I felt similarly about Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, I went back to it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second half very much. I assumed that it was because I played the opening half with Madam, and she was basically like a 40 caliber machine gun on my shoulder, just destroying everything. She would just he's that girl that could just ride on the back of Donkey Kong and just scream. And like it got to the point where it was disruptive and not fun. So like I literally was like, maybe that's why I didn't enjoy the beginning, but I wonder if part of the reason I didn't enjoy the beginning was because of what somebody was saying in their review. Like maybe the beginning just isn't very good. I didn't remember it being bad. I just remembered it being like it was redundant and crazy because Madam could just spam the entire landscape. I still hear that sound in my sleep. Yeah, right? Cloud is clutching his sup rage in chat, homies. What's good? I kind of agree with that. I don't remember disliking it. I just remember, Madam just destroyed everything, and she thought it was funny, and I was like, this isn't funny. It was funny once or twice, but it just got to the point where it was like, in order for her to have fun, she had to she wanted to do things in the game, and in order for her to do those things, I had to basically put up with a very disruptive companion, right? And it just wasn't fun. It was like, and the opposite was true in Adventures of Elliot. When we tried to play Adventures of Elliot together, she was bored because she's more of a gamer now. Like, she actually wants to play. Like, back in the day when we played Mario Galaxy, she was happy to just be a companion grabbing stars. And if Adventures of Elliot would have come out back then when we played that, she would have been totally happy with that, right? Now she's a bit more of a gamer. Like, she actually wants to play. She doesn't want to just be a companion that's not doing anything. So, like, playing as the little fairy in Adventures of Elliot, to her was just like, I'm not doing anything, Sounds like that gun needs a cooldown or something. Well, it's not a gun. She sings. Like, the character, the girl, I don't know, I forget her name. She rides on Donkey Kong's back, and she, like, sings and can, like, shout and, like, destroy stuff. She can absorb materials and then shoot those materials. Eldest One, thank you for 3 months. And it was just like I think I agree with you. Revertive Cloud, thank you so much for using your Prime on Purple, getting us to 139. There probably should have been a cooldown on it to where, she could help in fights or she could help at certain times. Pauline's her name, yeah. It was just absurd. Like, if you let somebody who's like a gamer control Pauline and you're trying to control Donkey Kong, it is not a fun time. When you're by yourself, it's great. Excuse me. She's helpful, shooting and taking out enemies and stuff. But yeah, if you're playing with a companion that actually knows how to game, and they're just like, they're just hammering away on that button, it's not fun. It is not fun. So I went back to it by myself, rolled credits, and really ended up liking it. It was one of my favorite games from last year. So we're going to have her respond to these allegations of spamming. Oh, no, she won't defend herself. She'll just be like, yeah, that was the only way to have fun. She won't try to act like she didn't do it. I mean, if you want to get her side of the story, you guys are going to have to hit the goal for the week and have a Saturday night stream, which we're not having a good stretch recently. We've been missing the goal, and then this last week we barely got there. Like we at the last minute, some people came in and kind of saved the day. So the goal has become we used to hit it pretty much every week for like months at a time, and lately that's just not been the case. I don't see how Code Veronica, God of War Lao Fei, Final Fantasy VII Revelation are 3 out of the 5 I'll be buying. 4th most likely will be Intergalactic and VF Crossroads. I don't understand. All in 2027. I don't understand the first part of your sentence. You say, I don't see how. How do you not see how if that's what you want to play? I don't get your phrasing. Yo, what's good, Al Pastor? How are you? Need to put Madam on the defense stand for her actions of spam. I think I stopped enjoying the game. It was her fault. It wasn't my fault. It was her fault. I went back and had a great time. No, but I think co-op games in particular, Madam and I have gotten to a point where I think after an hour or two, we know we're like, okay, yeah, this is a game we can play. You know, this is a game we can play. This is a game we can enjoy. But the issue typically is, are we going to get? There's certain genres. So like Satisfactory fell into this. You just get to a point where you're like, yeah, we've just kind of hit that wall, or yeah, this is a bit of a grind. You know, and we kind of tap out. That's why I feel like the rogues have worked well for us. It makes it a lot more playable. Like Dead Zone Rogue, Gunfire Reborn, RoboQuest, Sworn, and now we're playing Astral Ascent. Like, these games are perfect because like you can put in a play session, have a good time, and then you're working on things. You got meta progression and things like that. Al Pastor bumps a line to 140. He gets us a 10 bomb away from 150. He says, I rolled credits on Saros yesterday, the true ending. Easily the best third-person shooter I've ever played. And my game of the year so far. Yeah, Saros is easily at the top of my list this year. Like, Saros and Pragmata are basically competing for the number one spot. Just what an amazing year. So good. Satisfactory took me 400 hours to platinum. It was good. We just hit a wall, and like every time I came back into the game, I was just like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this. Like, it was like I don't know. We hit a wall in games, and then we both check out at like the same time. It's weird. I think when you're playing co-op, there's probably something to be said for the fact that you're enjoying things by osmosis. Like, you're enjoying the fact that the person that you're playing with is enjoying the game and having a good time. And so if they start to kind of get bored or they kind of start to check out, it's not worth it. I remember playing Diablo 4 with her, and I remember the night that I quit, that we just quit. We were like in a dungeon, and we were just killing enemies, and I was just like, I told her, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't fun. Do you know what I mean? So I remember just putting it down, and I was bummed because we played so much Diablo 3. We really played a lot of Diablo 3. So the OA says, hey Lono, I appreciate the stream being chill. I was really done with the doom scrolling and the performative rage. We just decided yesterday in the green room that like I'm not going to squeeze this news cycle for nuggets of doom, because like that's essentially where we are now. It's like, yeah, it's all bad, and people are you now have the people, at Ubisoft boycotting or whatever. And I was like, I just don't want to talk about this stuff anymore. I want to talk about games. Now, obviously, we're an hour and a half in, so we got to kind of stoke these conversational fires with, the games that you're looking forward to that are upcoming, anything that we may not have mentioned, predictions and speculations about some of the bigger releases that might not make it. There are an awful lot of games that I do not think are going to make it just because there's just too many. There's too many games coming out. PlayStation is dead, coming from a PlayStation player from the start. Yeah, I just don't agree. I think that's just something people say for attention. I don't think it's a genuine position, and it's certainly not something that's going to happen. I second that. I'm just glad not to hear the crying about physical for once. I'm literally muting and unfollowing people on Twitter. It's like, if you're not a mutual, I'm unfollowing you. Like, why am I following you if this is all you're going to do? And if they are a mutual, I'm just going to mute them for now. It's like, I just don't want to see this. It's just like, what's the point? It's putting out energy that I don't want to see. So, yeah. And I was even thinking about this, like, I know we always don't get, great results. We're basically a talk show, and we got to kind of play the game. We got to kind of play make the content that that the platforms, want or whatever. We kind of have to play that game. But I've also been kind of thinking about, like, man, oh man, like, should we just try to bring some gameplay back? Like, but the problem is when we do that, I tank everything. I end up, everything takes a hit when I do that, like, everything. And it's like, that's very hard to do when you're like, well, this is what I do, day to day. I got to use that time in the best way possible. So I was like, well, let's talk about all the upcoming games that we're excited about and all the games that we're going to be diving in. Let's do that, So that's what we landed on yesterday in the green room. That's a great reason to be a member or a sub. You could be in green room when we talk about that stuff. The Last Boy Scout on Twitch says, games I'm looking forward to: Path of Exile 2 official release and seasonal update, Warframe new DLC in the fall, Halo campaign evolved end of this month. No Rest for the Wicked as well. Everything on your list, except for No Rest for the Wicked, doesn't really land on my list, which I think is such a good sign that we have so many things happening that you can put things out there that I'm like, that's not even on my radar, like Path of Exile 2 and Warframe. Now, Halo campaign evolves on my radar to play co-op with Madam, but it's not on my radar as like a top 10 game for me this year. So, it's crazy to me because PlayStation stopped making physical games for 10% of the market, that somehow they're going to die a slow and painful death. Yeah, I just don't even feel like having that conversation anymore. It's just a bunch of exaggeration. Why do people say they're mad about and leaving the Sony ecosystem? Why not just leave quietly? I mean, it's what people feel they have to do, I think your video on embracing the new digital age of gaming was insightful. I think you're right. Making sure the legislation suits us consumers and gamers is probably the best use of the time. No Rest for the Wicked I've been waiting for years. Here's the thing, and I know Ginger can probably speak to this best. Guys, make sure if you are enjoying this show and you're like, man, the positive vibes are better, I do like this, well, hit the like button. Keep that chat activity going, get some members going, do all the things, right? The like button's extremely important. It gets more people in here. We meet new folks. If you're digging the vibe, be sure to do that. So the nature of No Rest for the Wicked, I am extremely interested in playing through that game with Madam, but I'm not quite sure what the difficulty settings do. Like, I know there's difficulty settings, but like, what does it do? Like, if I lower the difficulty settings, are we still going to be going in getting chunked and getting whooped on, or is it going to make it a very just sort of casual, breezy time? Because I love the vibe of No Rest for the Wicked. I love the art direction. And when I played it, I thought, this is dope. Like, when I played it I think I played it like one afternoon for you guys. And so I was like, man, it'd be really, really fun to play this with Madam. But I'm not quite sure, and Ginger, you may not even know, but I'm curious how the difficulty settings even work. PoE 2 is going to do huge player count numbers. Oh, I'm sure it will. Control Resonant's all I'm excited for. The others, Wolverine, GTA 6, will join the backlog. So you're not excited about anything else. Not like Castlevania Belmont's Curse or anything. Multiplayer for No Rest for the Wicked helps reduce the difficulty, says Ginger. But they also added in new difficulty levels. Difficulty settings don't always turn a try-hard sweatfest into a casual-friendly romp. That's what I mean. I totally get that. Like, so for example, if you could play Lies of P co-op, I wouldn't play it with Madam even on the easiest setting, because it's still just an oppressive, punishing game even on easy. I was like, it just isn't pleasant to be in. That's not the kind of vibe I want in my living room at 9:30 at night before bed. That's just not. It's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to let that energy into the home. It's stressful, right? I don't have enough money for all these games. I feel that. I'm looking forward to playing God of War, Lao Fei, and Castlevania Belmont's Curse, no matter what the critics say. Wait, what are people saying about Castlevania? I don't even know if anybody's gotten their hands on it yet, for a preview. No Rest is pretty easy co-op and on easy. Okay. Thomas said he did that because he enjoyed playing with his 8-year-old son. Well, if they added the difficulty settings because he likes playing with his 8-year-old son, I think Madam and I are in for a good time then. I'm really excited. I really am. It'll be nice to have something. I've wanted a game that isn't a rogue, that has some longevity for us. And the only game that had longevity for us that wasn't a rogue was Pow World. And we got, 30 or 40 hours out of Pow World, which we're going to start over eventually because of the 1.0. But I thought about that with No Rest for the Wicked. I'm like, we could really put in some time with this game. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'll be excited for the next Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West game. Oh, yeah, that'll be announced. Shortly after Horizon Hunters Gathering fails and flops, they'll decide to announce the next Horizon game. I gave away to my nephew my PS4 a few months ago. I purchased all the platforms since the 80s and love gaming. Time is an issue with life, but will likely buy a PS6 when it comes out. You don't need to buy every new release. You can definitely wait and pick up sales. You know what the best thing to do? I don't know if you guys realize this or not. Wherever you game, you really need to leverage your wish list. You get notified when something on your wish list is on sale and it's been discounted. Every time I turn on my PlayStation, if something on my wish list is on sale, it's been discounted, it'll pop up and tell me. Right? Now, sometimes it won't. I've had it do it, and I've had it sometimes not do it. So I just regularly kind of scroll through just to see if there's any of the discounts. Steam will do it every single time. Every single time stuff on your wish list has been discounted, it's on sale, they send you an email. So you really need to utilize your wish lists. As soon as you see something and you think, you know what, I think I might want to play that in the future, throw it on your wish list. Because sometimes it'll drop down to, $5 or $10 or whatever, and then you snag it, and now you own it for less, and you can play it when you're good and ready. That's a really, really great way to be, frugal and economical, and you're still buying the game, you're still supporting the devs. It's not like you're waiting. You can obviously wait until it's on PS Plus, but that's always a bit of a gamble because you don't know if it's ever going to go on PS Plus depending on the game. You're excited for Soulframe 2, says the last Boy Scout. Yeah, Soulframe could be a really fun time. Can you play Soulframe with others, or is Soulframe strictly a single player game? I feel like it's strictly a single player game, isn't it? Do we know? Soulframe coming soon from Digital Extremes. Oh no, it says online co-op. Yeah. You guys don't do that on PlayStation? I don't know if people realize that they should do it. I don't know if people utilize their wish lists like that. I'm just giving some advice. I mean, maybe they do, but there's usually a handful of people in every group that are like, I never thought to do that. You know what I mean? If Sony, PlayStation have their way in 2 years' time, in the non-disc future, say bye-bye to great discounts. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. They make tons of money when they do those sales. So that's a very unlikely future. Steam is completely digital only, and they do big sales all the time. You still want to motivate people to come in at different times in the year holiday sales, tax return time is a good time they'd like to do sales because people got money, burning a hole in their pocket, Speaking of PS5 wish list, I had to wipe everything from my wish list as it was constantly giving me errors because my wish list was full. Well, I mean, yeah, that's obviously a problem if your wish list is too full. There are discounts now. Yeah, they're doing a big discount thing right now, like up to 75% off. So, I've been doing the wish list thing for heads up on sales. Yeah, it's a great use of the wish list. Yeah. Guys, do me a favor. If you're watching on YouTube and you're lurking, you're enjoying, or you're chatting and enjoying, whatever you're doing right now, just take a quick second and make sure you've hit the like button. Let's try to scramble to 300 likes. This is a very, very different approach to the stream today, and you guys have shown up. You've turned out in big support today. Let's do the same thing with the like count, all right? And check your primes and check your renewals as well. That also helps. That's something they should fix. What's the point of having it if it crashes and has errors? Well, in general, something like that is designed for most use cases, and when you become a divergent use case, they can't necessarily legislate to you, if that makes sense. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that you did anything wrong or something like that, but like a lot of the times in software and in cases like that, they can't really legislate to your use case if you're gonna like wish list 1,000 things. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that like you shouldn't have done that, or that you shouldn't expect them to let you wish list more, but I'm also saying I don't necessarily expect them to legislate to like fringe use cases. Like, there was friends list issues that a lot of us ran into as streamers because our friends list got to like absurd levels, but I can't necessarily expect the platforms to legislate to me. If that makes sense. Listen, if I want PlayStation things, why would I look for them outside of PlayStation? Why is that hard to understand? I'm not sure what you're saying, Trent. Literally, Astrobot, among others, are on sale right now. Why do people say this about the PS Store? Oh, I mean, we are in, we're in sort of a doomer narrative right now. And that's why I wanted to make today about, let's just be positive. Let's just talk about the games that we're excited about. Like, I don't know. It really, it started to affect my mood. I felt like the first 6 months of this year, we were having a blast almost every day. We were having fun. The vibes were good, and then all this other stuff started happening, and then it was like, all of a sudden the vibes took a dive, and I'm like, I don't want to make content where this is all we're doing. Like, obviously we'll cover it, and then I think we need to cover stuff like that and just move on. We need this algo cleanse. Thank you. I just think we need to move on faster sometimes than we do. And it's unfortunate that, like, we're dependent on the news cycle to a certain degree. But I'm going to be real with y'all. We're not dependent on the news cycle. We're dependent on each other. If we show out for shows and just vibe and go, and I'm serious, going crazy on the like button, chatting, lurking, just being cool and saying funny things, like bringing positive vibes. Like, when you guys do all those things, we're not dependent on the news cycle. We're not. You understand? Like, if we can get to that place where, like, we can do whatever we want, cover whatever we want, play whatever we want. We can be dependent on each other instead of being like, well, we're dependent on the news cycle. So I felt trapped. I was like, well, there's nothing else going on. When the dark news hits, nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to announce their game. Nobody wants to reveal a trailer. No major news breaks. So we're just sort of sitting there stuck like, well, there's nothing left to talk about. And if we want to break that cycle and not be beholden to the news cycle, then we can do that as a community. Like, we can just turn up every day and say, let's just have a show and let's just talk and vibe and watch trailers and have a good time. Let's start, maybe finding creators or videos to react to that we think are positive and enjoyable, and let's get the frick out of the sludge. You know what I mean? Like, just get out of the negativity. I'm going to start reaching out to guests again and start having people on the show, and like, let's just, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not talking about being like glib and being like, let's just be fake positive. But when there's this much to be excited about, I don't think it takes much effort. I really don't. But what we need is the support's got to be there. The people got to be there, or the show doesn't work. Does that make sense? AC Black Flag is a pretty good remake. It's getting like universal praise. It's crazy how much praise it's getting. Like, at a time where people can get really like negative and down in the mouth about remakes, that game is kind of showing like, no, you can do a remake and you can make people happy. I'm having a hard time ignoring AC Black Flag. I need to make time. Okay. I need to make time for Doom. I gotta finish Doom. These afternoons have gotten a little tight, and one yesterday I was watching the soccer game while I was working, and I'll probably do something similar today. We're gonna see if Mr. Messi can get to the final, but it's so easy to focus on the negative. Being positive is harder. Appreciate you trying to do this. People need this. I am gonna do my best to see this through, to be like, if we got to be negative, we got to be negative, but I don't want to be negative every day. I'd rather be like a 90-10 split. I'd rather 90% of the time just boot up and vibe and talk about games and get excited and read previews and read reviews and watch trailers or what have you. I'd much rather do that than what we were doing. This mobile hero shooter, Ratchet & Clank Ranger Rumble, is now open on the App Store and Google Play. So did it just launch? It looks so charming. I just really, really wish they didn't. I don't know. I will say this. If you're going to do the live service thing, I don't know who made this. Do we know who developed this and made this? Let's go to their website and see. Who's the developer of Ranger Rumble? Because to me, this is actually not a terrible way to do live service. Go into an environment where you know people will potentially like it and enjoy it, and make a quality product. You know what I mean? It looks like Insomniac and OBB made this. So it looks like it may be made in conjunction with Insomniac. I imagine they didn't have a ton of people at Insomniac working on this. They're not a mobile dev team. But if you're going to do a live service game with one of your IPs, I feel like this is at least in the vein of like what you kind of expect. It's like it's within the art style. It's got the vibe of Ratchet, and it's also going to an environment, mobile, where it could be successful and make money. It could. And if people are having a fun time and it's successful and makes money, I'm not gonna be against that. I am gonna be against someone like Guerrilla working on what they're working on, because I feel like that's just a fundamental waste of their talent and time, and I hope we can get away from that. So Dench Attack reviews are hitting. If you guys remember this game, it's basically Sunset Overdrive with the bus. And it looks like it's doing fairly well in its initial reviews. High 80s for Dench Attack. And I believe this game is releasing soon, is it not? I feel like it's releasing soon. The little game that could. So Push Square seemed to have liked it. Let's scroll down here. They give it an 8 out of 10. It's a blast. While it may present a steep learning curve at the beginning, its unique arcadey gameplay rewards skill and quick thinking in ways that feels old school and fresh at the same time. From the silly, train-tricking premise through its challenging, fast-paced action and colorful presentation, it's a cohesive game that delivers big fun at every turn. So pros: fast, Frantic arcade fun, lengthy varied campaign, some brilliant set pieces and stages, lovely old school presentation, great soundtrack. Cons, it's overwhelming at first, controls are a touch complex, occasional bugs, right? This is not bad. Like, if this is the worst thing they can say, these two things are things you can adapt to and get over, right? This can be patched. This, to me, is like, this is like a home run, you know, for this unique little game that came out, Dench Attack. I believe it's this week, isn't it? Let me just see. Go to Steam. Today. It's out right now. So, if you were thinking about getting this one, the reviews are landing, and they seem to be pretty positive. You've never even heard of this? Oh, yeah, this was at some of the showcases and stuff. It's like Sunset Overdrive and Tony Hawk got thrown into the blender with a school bus. It's freaking dope looking. They reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review it, and I said yeah, and then they never got back to me. So I don't know. I wonder if they got like a really, really high amount of response. You know, did they get too high of a response or something? But Agent 64? Oh, is that got a release date now too? Let me see. I just got an email about Agent 64. It's on my wish list. Oh, it comes out August 11th. This one is like a love letter to fans of GoldenEye. They literally made like a GoldenEye Nintendo 64 game. I don't know if they are I don't know if this thing has does it have a planned console release? Let me see if it says so in here. It arrives on Steam. You can play it. You can co-op squad up to play it. There's 14 missions. Man, I'd love it if that was if they had plans for this to come to console. Let's see. Agent 64, Spies Never Die. Console release. Console ports are currently in development with an officially classified or unannounced release timeline. So apparently, they have indicated that they do want to bring it to console. So for fans of GoldenEye, make sure I already have Agent 64 wish listed. They've reached out. I could request a key from them. So we'll see if we can't get one. Again, I don't know what happened with Dench Attack. Maybe they're going to give me a key for launch date, which today's the launch date. So I'm not sure what happened. Again, they might have gotten an overwhelming response. I mean, here's Eurogamer. They're giving it 5 out of 5 stars. They're saying irreverent, unpredictable, funny, and unputdownable. Dench Attack proves that a commitment to aesthetic and game feel can make any game feel like even more than the sum of its parts. So, there you go. When's that out? The Nintendo 64 spy-like game or whatever it was called, I believe that one's coming out in August. August 11th. Agent 64 Spies Never Die comes out August 11th. So it's right around the corner. It's about a month away. So we'll see if we can't... that's definitely one I would enjoy, you know, getting a code for and doing a review for, because that's like my freaking childhood right there. Like, day one gave Dench Attack an 8. That's formerly Xbox era, so they're giving it an 8. Saros is on sale. If you guys, the digital deluxe edition of Saros is on sale. Let's see. Dench Attack was reviewed by Game Informer. Let's see what they gave it. I like Game Informer. Their reviews are usually very good. 8.5. Dench Attack is weird as hell, they say, and it leans into the strange premise with earned confidence, constantly building and layering on its ideas throughout. It avoids any whiffs of boredom by ripping through environments at full speed, but that also didn't give me much time to take it all in and immerse myself in the admittedly absurd world. When you're too busy having fun by avoiding every potential crash along the way, though maybe that proves stopping and smelling the roses is overrated. So, yeah, Dense Attack is a little out of my vibe, like the forward momentum, do tricks and things, is a little out of my vibe, like 8. They're getting an 8 from Insider Gaming. Goodness gracious. Go away. Go away. Oh my gosh. Insider Gaming, that the ads don't need to be that oppressive. Lord. I want to support y'all. I love y'all over there, but Jiminy. They gave it an 8. It's a fun, fast-paced arcade game where your skateboard is a train, and it boasts an overt and excellent over-the-top Japanese flair in its art and sound design. Thank you, Street Shadow, for 24 months. Let me add it to the total. Lono, check out Hyper Yuki coming this fall to everything. Basically, SSX Tricky. I think it's even being made by EA people. Hyper. I cannot spell Yuki. Hyper Yuki Snowboard Syndicate. It says coming soon. It's from Wabi Sabi Games. Isn't Wabi Sabi like an expression? Is that like a Japanese idiom? I feel like that means something. They say it. Beauty and imperfection or something. I feel like, isn't that what that means? Let's just here. What does wabi sabi mean? It's a Japanese aesthetic and philosophical worldview. It finds beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. Well, dadgummit, I was correct. Look at me being cultured in stuff. Yeah, so this doesn't call to me, but excited for those that like those kinds of games. You know, go and wish list Hyper Yuki today. How much is Saros on sale for right now? I wonder if they're doing a sale on the Saros Deluxe Edition. Let's take a little peek here. Oh, it's already in my library. Hang on. I'll have to go incognito. So if you guys were wanting to get the Saros Deluxe Edition, if you were kind of waiting, it's $60, down from $80. If you want just the base game, the base game is not on sale, but you can do the 2-hour-long trial. So really, right now, don't buy the base game of Saros. Buy the Deluxe Edition. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than the base game. So, good score there, too, by the way. Good score there. 89. I'm sorry, a 4.59 out of 8.9 thousand. Almost 9,000 reviews. Wait, there's a trial? You have to have PlayStation Plus, the premium or whatever, the one that gets game trials. And then you can try out Saros for the 2 hours or whatever. Yeah. So it's not a demo. It's not a demo. It's a part of the PlayStation Plus premium trial thing or whatever. So, yeah, I'm unfollowing every single clown that's doing this. I don't want to see it. It's just every single time they're tweeting, you guys are just jumping on every tweet. It's just at this point, it's become stupid. You don't have that tier. It's stupid to lock trials behind the highest tier. I mean, I don't know. I'm torn on it. They have to build an infrastructure and a system to track it and let you do it. I think they want to be careful to not devalue their games. They want it to be seen as a value to even get to try a game. I err on that side. It's like, we've seen what happens when you devalue games. We've seen what happens to the developers. We've seen what happens to an ecosystem when you do that. So I would much rather them stay away from that edge. There's the parable. This isn't from the Bible, but this is a parable that I heard once where, there was a woman who lived up on a mountain, and she was trying to find a driver to take her horse carriage down the mountain into town. She needed a new driver. And so every driver came and tried to impress her with how close they could get to the edge. And the driver that stayed as far away from the edge as possible is the one who got the job, because she wanted somebody who had a respect for the edge and didn't want to go close to it. So I think the further you stay away from that edge, the better. So I would rather them stay away from that. Does that make sense? Like, that's dangerous to go near that edge of, like, if you start devaluing things and you start letting people engage with things in a way that's transient, like they're just playing games for 2 hours and then tossing them over their shoulders, and then trying another game for 2 hours and then tossing it over their shoulders, you can start to foster sort of a transient consumer that doesn't want to buy anything. That's not good. That's not a good thing. Like, as from a business perspective, from an ecosystem perspective, for the developers, for all the things that are attached, it's like you don't want to start to foster this environment where people are doing that. And so I hear where people are coming from. They're like, I don't think you should have trials behind a paywall. Okay, why are you entitled to a trial to begin with? Like, does that make sense? Like, if you want to play the game, buy the game. The fact that they have a subservice where you get a regular, like, Rolodex of what I consider to be very good games a lot of the times. There's some really good games that hit PS Plus on a regular basis. And then if you go to the tippity top, you also get to try out games so that you can then try them before you buy them, so you're a more informed consumer. I think that being a value proposition is completely legitimate. Now, there are people that don't agree, but again, if you're fostering an environment where people are valuing the games and seeing them as worthy of purchase, seeing them as worthy of, like, oh no, if I want it, I'm gonna pay for it. I think that's good. We used to get demos. If you speak to developers now, they explain why you don't get demos anymore. And to keep in mind, what PlayStation's doing with PS Plus is not a demo. It's not. It's like a 2-hour long license to play. You're downloading the entire game, and then it locks the game after 2 hours. So it's not a demo. And the reason developers don't do demos is they're literally having to build, test, and ship that. And it takes away from the main game. So if you speak to developers now, with the complexity of development and the cost of development going up, they will quickly explain to you why demos are so rare and why lots of studios don't do demos anymore, because it's costly. It takes time away from the main game. This is why I think game trials being done by PlayStation, not the developers, like PlayStation is doing that. They're creating that infrastructure and that system. I think it's totally fine for them to charge for that, because it's their thing that they came up with. The devs aren't doing it, you know? So I think it's a value. If you don't see value in it, skip it and don't upgrade, don't buy it. Coffee question, will Dark Roast return? Did my order on the 13th go through? I got your order B4110, and we got an order yesterday, so I'll print those today, and those will probably go out tomorrow. I don't know if Dark Roast is going to return. We are dealing with what everybody else is dealing with, brother. Anything that has to move outside of America is expensive because of tariffs and shipping and everything else. And I'm going to be real with you. It barely moves. And it's an awful lot of my own capital and my own money to fund it. And from a business perspective, it doesn't do enough for me to justify the capital outgo. What it does to me and my own business financing and everything else, it's become a bit of a wash. It just has. Just annually, it's like I'm putting out far more effort than I'm getting return on. So, yeah. I'm just being straight with you. Make the coffee digital. I would. Yeah, I'd make it digital if I could. Like if I could literally have it like appear in your home, you know what I mean? Through like some kind of a digital thing like they do in Star Trek. I would totally do that. It would make it easier on all of us, wouldn't it? We have the coffee cheaper than it's ever been. We have the coffee cheaper than it's ever been. It's $10.95 a bag, and it still barely moves. And I'm not going to disrupt the show to like constantly bring up coffee. I'm just not going to do it. So it's just kind of, you know, it's just going to fade with time, I imagine. There's still plenty of the Frickmas and plenty of light roast, and it's great coffee for the price. But that's just where kind of things ended up with it. Gentle Killa, thanks for using your Prime, getting us to 142. Appreciate it very, very much. And even if the tariffs wouldn't have happened, I was already making this decision before the tariffs even went through. The tariffs were just sort of like a wrecking ball on an already shaking house of cards, right? We were already at a point where I was like, this is really expensive, and the return I get annually is negligible. You know what I mean? Like, there was a time where I was getting 4 or 5 orders a day. Now I'm lucky to get 4 or 5 orders in a month. I mean, completely came to a screeching halt. So when we switched to Shopify, it basically murdered that part of the business, and I'll never be able to figure out what happened. We had regularly, I mean, people were basically ordering every single day, and we switched to Shopify because they made all these promises. We were going to be able to like have a storefront on YouTube and all this stuff, and like notifications were going to pop up, and then none of it worked because Shopify is a bunch of liars. So, and I know I'm not supposed to use that word, but they totally lied to us. They totally did. So then we had to leave Shopify, and then the damage was done. We were at that point, it was like, for whatever reason, the coffee thing just came to a screeching halt when we did that. So, Jerry, thank you for 20 months on YouTube. Thank you very much. Do you know hands-on impressions of Tides Annihilation will be in August? Tides of Annihilation is going to be playable at Gamescom. It'll be playable at Gamescom. So, yeah. You should start hearing about what people think of it then. My biggest concern with Tides of Annihilation is twofold. Even the trailers have performance issues, and we don't have a release date yet. I feel like that game's going to slip. I don't know. K-Cups when? I never. I forgot about Duskfade. Yeah, Duskfade's another one. Another smaller title coming out. That's August 13th. It's a shame the coffee's so good. I drink it every day. I mean, I do. I drink it every day. Imagine if Shopify had a game trial handy. Yeah, if we would have been able to try it out. Thank you for the $3. Yeah, the coffee's good. I don't know what happened. It was very weird. Maybe it doesn't begin without a cup of that liquid black gold. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. Tides of Annihilation. I'm sorry, Tide of Annihilation. No, it's Tides, right? Yeah, Tides of Annihilation would be successful. It has Jennifer English in it. I just think it's going to slip. I think there's a lot of games. The calendar's just too full. You know? The calendar is just too full. So here's another review. IGN gives Dench Attack a 9. Hitting the track and changing tricks together is a joy. A constant stream of new mechanics means it never runs out of steam. And its story is breezy and enjoyable, even if it does mostly just play the hits. It's got a 9. It's got a good score from IGN. It's getting pretty much good scores across the board. So that's good. Let's see. GoldenEye inspired Agent 64 Spies Never Die locks a release date, and it's not far away. So that's why they sent me that email. That's why they're opening up code requests, because just today they locked a release date. So this is basically an up to 4-player co-op game coming to Steam, eventually coming to consoles. It is a love letter to fans of GoldenEye. So very cool to see that one continuing get some press today. Dench Attack is also deck verified. It's also deck verified. Digital Foundry reviewed the Dench Attack game. And do they do scores over there? No. Ultimately, they say it's a triumph, delivering a polished and engaging experience that exceeds the promise of its initial debut. Despite a slightly rocky start with its playable demo, the final release is a technically rock-solid and highly addictive title that is well worth playing. If you made it this far into the article, you'll likely enjoy it too, so hop on the train. There you go. So, Dench Attack, doing well out here. Doing well out here on the review circuit. Getting basically high 80s across the board. 86 Nintendo, 86 PS5, and 88 on PC. I'm sorry. Good to see games that, like I said this morning in my show open, it seems like there's a lot of games hitting the market that are they're delivered by passion. You know, they're being made and delivered based off of passion. Like it's something that they wanted to make, and I think that's going to be a good thing going forward. We need to see more of that. So, PlayStation promoting it here. Dench Attack is out today on PS5. Grind rails, stomp bosses, and more in this colorful action game. Yeah, and then people are just brigading the tweet. That's wonderful again. That's why we're just moving on from that topic. It's just ridiculous. Phantom Tower is out now in early access. Oh, this actually looks pretty good. It's an ad, but I want to check it out. Phantom Tower is out in early access. It's a single-player action RPG inspired by the hack and slash genre. Explore the immense tower that hides treasures, dangers, slay monsters, forge your equipment, and grow stronger. 9 reviews so far. It looks really good. It looks really fluid. Let's see what people are saying. Not recommend. It's fun, a decent time killer, but the bugs are starting to push it down a bit. Recommend. Browse all 10. So it looks like just the one is saying no. So that one just hit my feed. I've never even seen it until just now. Never even seen it until just now. Like the stream, by the way. We're super close to 300 likes, guys. Thank you so much for doing it, for hitting the likes and doing the thing. You don't like videos where it's 4 minutes of them trying to sell you something? Well, I don't take a lot of sponsorships, and I try my best to not do tons of placement. I've even consistently lowered just the hey, we have memberships, blah blah blah. That is how I do this, and that's pretty much the primary way. You know, we kind of ask people to contribute directly to what we do is the memberships, and it's just kind of where it's always been. So let the hero understand that's how we do this. But I try my best not to constantly have it in the content. Have you seen Stone Machi? It's a Souls-like with chess pieces. I have not seen that. Is that another... That sounds like one that would be Steam only, right? Let's see. Stone Machia or Machia. Wow. Overwhelmingly positive. It came out 2 months ago, 96 and a 97. Souls-like hack and slash. Wait, I've seen that logo before. You play as chess pieces? I swear to you, I've seen this logo. This was in a showcase that we watched, I think. I mean, people seem to be really liking it. So you can play as the different chess pieces. I'm assuming that each one plays differently. This game is kind of a vibe. It's a single-player game. Yeah, this has got kind of a vibe going on. There's a demo, too. We must have watched something that had this in it. That logo is like... it's super familiar to me. It's super familiar to me. Crossfall Games is the maker, and I don't think they've got nothing else on Steam. Have you checked out Voin? So Voin is 2 years old. They just did a new major update, it looks like. Single player hack and slash action roguelike RPG. Oh, it's a first person hack and slash. So it looks like a Survivor like, because there's kind of like going to be flooding you, right? It's kind of like I played that shooter that was like that. Like they just were constantly coming at you the entire time. I mean, Voin looks pretty cool. Is it on anything else? Or is it only on Steam? Voin the game. It looks like it's only on Steam. Yeah. It says early access. Is it still in early access, or did their recent big update that they come out of it? No, it's still in early access. Any news on the Cock of War game? I am reading the book. The Bird Who Drinks Tears. I believe that's the name of it. Is that the name of it? The Bird Who Drinks Tears? Or I think it's The Bird That Drinks Tears. The Bird That Drinks Tears. Korean fantasy. It's been translated into English. Book number 2 is being translated right now, and it'll be available in January. I'm about halfway through, and the bird, the big chicken man, is called a reckon. Like, imagine the word reckoning without the ing. He's a reckon. And they're ridiculous. They're traveling at night, and the reckon, as a part of the party, a part of the group, he carves out caves for them in the stone. Like, that's how strong a reckon is. Now, they hate the water. Not surprising. It's a bird. Not a lot of birds like to be in the water or near water. You know what I mean? It's a very, very cool fantasy novel. It's very, very cool. It gets a little dark. One of the main characters in the most recent chapter I read, it was like, I could not believe what he was doing. He was basically torturing these lizard men. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of twisted. But it's very good fantasy. So The Bird That Drinks Tears is what that game is based off of. Book 1 is called The Heart of the Naga, which those are like the lizard people. So I'm not sure. What's it called? Flightless? Windless. It's called Project Windless. The first book is called The Heart of the Naga. Nhaga. Project Windless is coming from Crafton. There he is. So that's a reckon. He's a reckon, and his strength is at almost like a godlike level of strength. Like I said, like he carves a hole in a wall, in a stone wall, so that they have a place to live. Or like they have like shelter for the night or something like that. So I'm wondering if in this trailer we'll be able to see any of the Naga, like, because like I wonder if they'll be in it. Yeah, he's like a huge chicken man. A humanoid bird reckon warrior, forge powerful alliances and lead your forces into battle, is what it says. There they are. That's them. And here he comes. Now, the thing about the Naga is that they regenerate. They're immortal because they remove their hearts. They go through a ritual where they remove their hearts, and it makes them immortal. The only way to kill them is you have to dismember them to a certain number of pieces. It's like 11 or 15 or something. It's ridiculous. So there's probably going to be some type of a method of that being put into the story. Good night. Reading the books and then watching this, I want to play this even more now. Just awesome. Just freaking dope, dude. Yeah, I'd strongly recommend the book. Again, it's just really good fantasy. I wouldn't recommend it for like, you know, anybody younger than like 15 or 16, because there's some pretty twisted stuff that, you know, the one guy hates the Naga and he's like torturing them in a very, very twisted way. It's yeah, I wouldn't want kiddos reading it. It's pretty dark. That's like a big monkey. Oh, that was sick. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. I should probably do a video on this, since I've read the book, and I could watch this trailer and give commentary on everything that we're looking at here. I'm not far enough in it to know if any of these are going to be battles from the book, because book 1 might not even get to some of the battles. Because book 2, I'm pretty sure book 2 doesn't even have the Chicken Man on the cover. He's on the cover of book 3. He's a major character in the book, though, in the first book. The book name is The Bird That Drinks Tears, and it is the first book is The Heart of the Naga. The Naga is spelled N-H-A-G-A. Here, I'll just show it to you on Amazon. So that's Project Windless. The Bird That Drinks Tears. So here it is. This is the first book. This is book 1. The Heart of the Naga, book 1 of The Bird That Drinks Tears. Korea's most celebrated fantasy epic translated into English at last. But again, this is just book 1. Book 1 of, I believe it's 4 books. I believe that it is 4 books. If we go for book 2, here's book 2. Book 2 is Those Who Prepare the Way, but this will not be available until January. It's being translated right now. It's being translated by Anton Her, because Lee Young-do is the author. And so there's more than 2 books. There's 4 books. Book 4, I don't know if we're going to be able to get the cover of the book. The cover looks really, really good. The artwork is so cool, but you can't, they don't have it anywhere. The Bird Who Drinks Tears, book 3. Let me see if I can find a picture of it on, let's see if Google has it. No. Yeah, here is some artwork. Here's some artwork. And you can see the Reckon in the background. This is the guy that is just brutal and merciless. He actually has a very unique, like, double-bladed sword. It's really, really cool. And then this is the Naga that's traveling with them. Bird That Drinks Tears. The Bird That Drinks Tears, book 3. It's titled Tokebi Who Play with Fire. I don't know if the artwork's available yet. It's in the back cover of the dust cover. And it looks so stinking cool. Nobody's scanned it in yet. It looks like just books 1 and 2 have made it into like Google image search. Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody has taken a good picture of. Oh wait, nope, there it is. I found it. This is not the best, but that's the cover of the 3rd book. There's the Reckon, and he has this huge spear. Yeah, he has this huge spear that he uses, and the Naga can't hear because they Nurm. They only speak with their minds, and they see heat. So like they have to do things because of the Naga's ability to see heat. So he has to like cover his spear at one point, because his spear absorbs heat from the sun throughout the day. There's just so many cool things going on in the game. Here's another picture of a Reckon. It looks like there's a game that you can play. It might be like a tabletop. There might be like a tabletop RPG or something. So Project Windless is based on some pretty freaking dope fantasy. It's not just like come play as a big chicken. So PS Plus just got some good games. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Rise of the Ronin, and then Firefighter Simulator, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind. I would say Avatar and Rise of the Ronin are two nice snags there. That's why I'm hyped for China Project. So many stories that could come from there. Yeah. Sounds like epic D&D style storytelling. I'm sold. Yeah, I've enjoyed the book. Quite a bit. Very easy read. I'm coming from, Stormlight Archives and the Wheel of Time. So it's like a breeze to read something that's got, a little bit of a better, quicker pacing. It's not so dense. Like Stormlight and Wheel of Time are good, but they're just dense as frick. It's like sometimes you just want like an easy breezy read. So yeah. Chicken Run spiritual successor. That's right. Just checking the news feeds here, boys. Checking the news feeds, seeing if anything else is hitting other than some new PS Plus games. GameStop is now on Uber Eats, allowing you to buy games and get them delivered within hours. They're going to be busy for GTA 6. More reviews are coming in for Dench Attack, the game where you play as the bus. Looking good. Does the guy write faster than George R.R. Martin? I think the dilemma that you're going to run into with The Bird That Drinks Tears is that it's a guy translating it from Korean into English. So, and there's been a couple of times where the translation, I'm like, I think twice now. I'm halfway through the book, so it's a very good translation. But at least twice I was like, that's worded kind of funny. I think he kind of tripped up there. There's just been a couple of times. I think twice now I've kind of been like, yeah, I think that's a translation issue. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee. Thank you so much for doing that. Mr. Polar Bear, I appreciate that. It's very, very kind, supporting the channel and what we do here like that. Train, not a bus. Not a bus. Densha means electric train. Yeah, it is a train. It looks like a bus. Thank you so much, TaylorMade. TaylorMade bumping the line for 49 months. I appreciate it so much. It is a train. Yeah. I thought it was a bus because, it's yellow. But it is, in fact, a train, y'all. So I apologize for the fake news this morning. I started the coffee train. You started the coffee train. And we have a coffee train of one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Need to learn to read Korean to avoid waiting for the translation. This is true. This is true. Yeah. It'd be crazy in the future when you can probably like buy a pair of glasses, you know, and like put them on and like open a book like that and be able to read it. You know what I mean? That's gonna be in our lifetime. 100%. Have you seen this? It came out in May, very much in the vein of Eternal Sorrows. Yes, Greg. I had early access to Luna Abyss. Unfortunately, the game was not very successful, and I believe the studio is closed down. But, it's decent. The way they have you navigate the bullet hell from first person, not the best. It takes a little too long, in my opinion, for you to get a very basic dash. So yeah, and they have some unique treatment of like how you aim and shoot as well. So yeah, it's not that it's a bad game. It also was really unfair. I played it after I played Sorrows, and that's really, really gonna make it hard for the game to impress me. Like, I literally went from the castle of third person shooting moment to moment action bullet hell. Like, I literally went from the king and went to like a smaller team's attempt to do something that was not bad, but it was just like, yeah, this is it was fine. It's got very positive reviews. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was just fine. And I'm a little, the problem is I'm going to be a bit of a snob. I mean, I'll just own it. I've played Returnal for 200 hours, and I think Sorrows is probably one of the best third-person shooter games and action games I've ever played. Like, the moment-to-moments, I think, unmatched. So I am going to be a bit of a snob. So I went into that game and was like, this is fine. And it didn't hold my attention because of that. I think if I would have played it and had never touched those games, my opinion would probably be very different. What's that other game that's trying to do like a rogue third-person shooter, and it looks kind of like Remnant? What's the name of that game? It's in my feed every now and again, and it looks good, and I played the demo, but it's very rough. Shoot. What's it called? No, not Vilde. Why is Vilde in my library? A fast-paced roguelike FPS inspired by Norse mythology. I don't know why that's in my I really don't know why that's in there. What is the name of that one? It's got a weird name. Luna just got better and better. I wish it was a little longer, 8 to 12 hours. It got better and better. Maybe I quit too early. Is it Armistice? It's Armistice. Okay, so this is another example of a game that... Can I go theater mode? Armistice got potential. This has potential. I played this, and I know they've made a bunch of updates since I played it. So I believe they're trying to get this out this year. I don't know if it's going to make it. I believe I follow the developers on Twitter. So I'm struggling to find Sorrows as interesting as Returnal. I thought that the story in Sorrows got really interesting near the end. Especially if you've read The Yellow King like I have. Coming this winter. Okay, so they're slating it for this winter. Fictions. Yeah, I follow them on Twitter. Let me see if I can see if they've said anything. But yeah, they're still saying it's launching this winter on all platforms. Oh, apparently... Wait, are they behind Beast of Reincarnation as well? Huh. They're retweeting all the Beast of Reincarnation stuff. Are they the publisher? Yeah, they must be the publisher of Beast of Reincarnation. Or did they help? I wonder. When I go to Steam... No, they're a publisher. They're not a developer. Okay. Well, there you go. I played its early alpha. It's super cool. It has potential. Hope they delay it. They update more frequently, though, through their Discord. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one that's probably would benefit from sliding out of this year. That it would probably benefit from sliding out of this year. It's just it needs some polish, and that's okay. It just needs a little bit of polish. I think the main issue with it was your trash ads need to die faster. You had a lot of ankle biters that just didn't die fast enough, and it made the gameplay. It really flat tired the gameplay. The repositioning just didn't feel very good. I think maybe because I need to get further in, it's just taking me much longer to move forward than in Returnal. Maybe because I'm on console instead of PC, just not as good on controller. Do you have the mods yet? I wouldn't hesitate to make it easier with the mods. That's what I did. You can use the mods to make yourself quite a bit stronger and make it quite a bit easier, and then just focus on the game. Just focus on the story. You also should really, really lean into the weapons that auto-fire. It'll really, really change the flow for you. Or auto-aim, I should say. It completely changes the flow. Like... There's one, there's a rifle that gets like hardcore rounds or something, and it's really strong, but you gotta hit your shots, and it'll really, you'll get messed up if you miss a couple shots. That's it. How we both forget the name. The problem with the name like Armistice is it's not super memorable. You know what I mean? It's not super memorable. Like. Sometimes names are super generic. You know what I mean? Like Sword Warrior or something. And you're like, what? I don't really remember the name of it. And then other names of games are like that, where it's just like a made up name and it doesn't really stick with you. So, co-published, that's rare. Heavy rifle. Yeah, the heavy rifle is great. But your efficiency will probably drop if you try to use it. There's a couple of rooms, especially in biome. Is it 2? I think it's biome 2. The big guys with the lasers will cook you. You need to get rid of them super fast. You need to use your big heavy attack on them. You need to just melt. They just get rid of them. They will hurt you. I had many of my runs hobbled by those big guys in the second biome with the lasers. They are annoying. They're quite annoying. So you gotta take them out quick. It's worth the whatever you're trying to save, use it on them. It's worth it. That shirt's fire. Yo, thank you. I hadn't worn a good Black Panther shirt in a while, and I saw this one in the closet last night. Tides of Annihilation will have a playable demo at Gamescom. Yep. That is something we've been talking about quite a bit this morning infrequently. We've been talking about all of the games people are looking forward to in 2026. And that one will have hands-on at Gamescom. And, yeah. Second biome crapped on me so much. From such a height, I thought God did it. Gee, many Christmas. Yeah, that second biome will chunk you. It'll chunk you pretty quickly. So, I got to go back. I suck, but I enjoyed the second butt whooping I took. I've wanted to go back into Saros and show people like why I feel like the game is quite a bit easier than Returnal, not in a bad way. So my brain is cooked. I was listening rather than watching, and when you said you were wearing a Black Panther shirt, I was picturing Pink Panther's black brother. Pink Panther has a black brother? Or you were picturing as if that was a thing? Like you imagine suddenly an entire story arc of the Pink Panther having a black brother? Or do you mean black brother like a brother? I mean, what are we really talking about? Thought it was worth Googling. You Googled it and you're like, oh, Black Panther. Oh, my golly. I know Returnal is hard, but have you guys tried Trains 6? Listen, I smoke every day, and that's a crazy thought. That's what I'm saying, though. I can't with you, Lano. I mean, he said it. He said it, not me. I mean, I was just asking. Like, are we talking about a black brother, or are we talking about a black brother? Like, which? You got to let me know. Like, I'm just trying to visualize it here. That's all. And Panthers are already black. That is kind of a question. I mean, I don't know if anybody's actually talked about this. I'm not trying to be controversial, but isn't it redundant? I'm kidding. There are probably Panthers that aren't black. Why do we have to make sure? I don't know. It just seems a little redundant. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I think they're all black. I think they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we could just call him the Panther. All right, I'm gonna head out. All right, I've had enough of this nonsense. Freaking idiot. like when Kramer overtanned on Seinfeld. He's like, "I see a damn fool." Like that's what you guys are gonna be saying about me any minute. I bet all Panthers look the same to you. Listen, dude. It'd be tough. It'd be tough. I'd have a hard time telling them apart. You know what I mean? You go to the zoo and you're like, "Hey, look, it's the Panther. He was here last time." And some person working at the zoo, it's like, "It's actually a new Panther. They all look the same to you, don't they?" And you're like, "What? It's a Panther. It's a big cat. I didn't mean to offend anybody." And they're like, "I can't believe this." They get out their phone and record you. Go viral for being a hater on Panthers. What ended up being your favorite weapon in Sorrows? Well, because I'm smart, the repeater crossbow is the truth. There's really not a reason to use anything else. It's a bit free. Sorry, bud. We all missed you. It's a bit free. The repeater crossbow. Little free. Little easy mode. You don't even need to use the normal fire on it, by the way. If you get a repeater crossbow, you just hold down alt fire. It's kind of busted. I mean, you just see this. And everything's just dying. Bosses included. It'll just melt. So repeater crossbow is kind of the truth in that game. Rise of the Ronin on Plus today. Yeah, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora as well. I didn't like the crossbow. I like the smart rifle. Did you get the repeater crossbow and just only use alt fire? Because if you do that, I think you're going to change your mind. Because the smart rifle was my choice as well until I did that. Now, in some circumstances, there's that blade gun where the blades come back after they hit. It can be like a really, really good Dreadbound from Returnal. But I'm telling you, that crossbow repeater, you use that alt fire and nothing else, and it's stupid. Upon Googling, apparently black panthers are just jaguars and leopards with the melanin condition. I'm just reading what he put in chat, y'all. So I don't pretend to know anything about any of this. New Ratchet and Clank game rumored for October? Wait, what? Players can now register for a Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble, and it seems the game will release this October. I thought they said it was available today. Huh? PlayStation just announced the pre-registrations. Oh, for the free-to-play Ratchet and Clank mobile game. However, the developers have not provided an official release date. The App Store is listed with the expected release date of October the 5th. Oh, I misunderstood that announcement today. I thought the game was, like, out. Yeah, it's a mobile game. I wasn't sure if the mobile game... I thought the mobile game was out today, and they, like, accidentally leaked, like, the next game. Wait, melanin condition? I didn't say it was a condition. You know what I'm saying? That's what this guy's saying in my chat. He's saying it's a condition. I'm not saying anybody has. No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just sitting here. I'm being cool. I'm just sitting here. That's all I'm doing. You know, I'm just trying to talk about video games. I don't know what y'all are talking about. That is a very fast way. You want to make. I'm just gonna give y'all a little inside scoop here, and yeah, I'm talking to y'all. If you want to make, in particular, it's a white man. You want to make a white man nervous, just say, "What did you say?" That's all you have to say. If you say that, he could have said anything. He could have been like, "Oh, dude, sorry I'm late, traffic." What did you say? He's immediately nervous because he can be like, "Wait, what did I say?" He's going to think that he said something. Like, if you want to gaslight and you want to gaslight and make your white friends nervous, just do that every once in a while. If they say something and it's even remotely close to any of them categories, just be like, "What did you say?" And they'll be immediately nervous. You will make them, you'll make their heart skip a beat. They'll be like, "Oh no, what did I do? What did I say?" That'll be a fun game for you guys to play for the next couple of days with all your white friends. I mean, you may end some friendships, but that's a cheat code. I could write a book, how to make your white friends nervous. Oh gosh. I'm going to go see this. Yeah, try it on your boss. But you got to be subtle with it. You got to wait for them to say something that they could potentially be questioning. Wait, you want them to immediately question what they just said. It can't be something completely neutral like, "Hey, does anybody want any Starbucks?" or something. You know what I mean? Like, "I'm going to go get a Frappuccino." Like, you can't, that won't work. If they're just doing like whitey stuff, there has to just be like they say something in passing that maybe could be even remotely construed or twisted, and you say, "What did you say?" Like, and you have to put you got to put a little bit of the extra on there. You can't just say, "What did you say?" You got to put a little bit of put a little emphasis behind it. You got to choose the right time, or it won't work. Oh, let's see here. A user found the iconic Explorer outfit in Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced by pure chance. Yeah, they were going to drop a hint this weekend about it. The official Assassin's Creed Twitter account tweeted about it. Apparently, Beast of Reincarnation on PC, you're going to need a beefy build. Is this true? You know what I mean? Some ethnic sounding word like a menu item. That's right. Whitey stuff. You know. You know what I'm saying? Like they're talking about swimming or going to Starbucks. I mean, if they're talking about that, you know, that's the kind of, you just, you know, they're not going to fall for it. It's got to be something a little bit more like in a gray area where they're like nervous all of a sudden. They're like, wait a minute, did I say something offensive? A hockey game. They're talking about swimming, a hockey game, you know, just some whitey stuff. Something that has you saying, yeah, that's y'all people. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that won't work because they'll know you're playing with them. They'll know you're messing with them. It's gotta be enough to make them nervous. Okay, what is Beast of Reincarnation? Let's see what they're saying here. Minimum 24 gig of RAM, minimum 1070 Ti, 60 gig install space. That'll run you at 1080-30. So recommended 32 gig of RAM, a GeForce 4060, and that's for 1080-60 with DLSS. Oof. This is gonna be a, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a tough one. You can't keep a straight face. I tripped myself up with the swimming one. I should have saved it. I should have saved that one. I should have listed things. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Starbucks, Target delivery. Target pickup. You know, swimming. Checking the news feeds here, boys. It's slowing down a little bit again. Slowing down a little bit. Go play with dangerous animals. Yeah. Yeah. Big game hunting. Archery. Archery. Oh man. Hmm. 60 to 90% of the growth in monthly Steam releases is from AI games, and almost none make money. But is that true of a lot of the games that release on Steam? But PC Gamer just doesn't like anything anymore. I feel like the last couple times they've reviewed stuff, they've just been like, everything sucks. A 63 for Dench Attack. We saw good scores across the board for Dench Attack. Why are they giving it a 63? It's an inconsistent spectacle that fails to make good use of its chosen themes. It isn't clear and consistent enough for serious score attack play, yet it's also far too fussy to allow the raw absurdity of moments like controlling a shark or countering giant baseballs with aerial tricks to sweep me up in a wave of comedic positivity. This train has gotten lost somewhere between two diverging tracks. Yeah, they just really didn't like it. I'm waiting for reviews for Beast of Reincarnation. Where Winds Meet Hidden Mountain expansion launches July 23rd. The mega viral indie hit has arrived on the Xbox console. The Quarantine Zone, The Last Check, is out now. You're supposed to scan, survey, and survive. Oh, that's the one where you're like scanning the people that want to come into the... They want to come in to your village or whatever. Mm-hmm. PS2 Classic Cold Fear has been re-released and patched on GOG. I'm unfamiliar with that game. Cold Fear. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Quarantine Zone. I don't know if it's on PlayStation. It's on Xbox. It's called The Last Check, isn't it? Quarantine Zone Checkpoint Medical Control Unit. That's not it. I don't think so. Wait. There will be no PlayStation port for now. That was reported in January of this year. So I don't know if it's coming to PlayStation or not. It looks like I did. Devolver reported. Devolver tweeted that it's coming to Xbox today. I see no mention. Oh, it's on Game Pass. So it's a Game Pass game. Like, it's not just that it's coming to Xbox. They signed a Game Pass deal. So, yeah. There you go. Xbox boys, Game Pass boys, enjoy it. Let's see. Good morning, Pickles. How are you? Well, looking at the feeds here, we are, yeah, it's on Xbox One. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to force it, boys. When we're out of steam and we're out of things to talk about, I'm going to call it. I'm going to keep this one under 3 hours today. I don't like to go beyond 3 unless we're really humming. And we're going to head to the Discord. Great reason to be a member. Great reason to be a sub. We're going to go to the green room. Appreciate you guys' support today. And thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit the like button and do all the things. And we will we'll see you in the Discord, or we will see you tomorrow. All right? Take it easy.